Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
We're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican police service Latino.
Is that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Literally not true.
Oh, for crumb's sake.
Good morning, welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Good to have you here. Welcome. I know I'm a little bit late this morning. We're going to get caught up in no time. Alrighty, let's see if we can get everything to work, though. Of course, that would be asking too much.
I'm trying to have court.
All right, happy, what is it? We're a Tuesday already. Happy Tuesday. Sorry, just one more little hiccup here, trying to get an IP address sorted out. We'll be ready to go. Let's see. Details, TCP/IP 4.21. There we go. Save, and now it's working. All right, Jennifer Juniper, congratulations, first in chat. You, my friend, are the winner, or should we say the loser? Because yes, in fact, by winning, you have in fact lost. You've lost because we're sentencing you to internet ownership. You have a big job ahead of you, and it affects everyone who ever wants to connect to the internet today. So you're responsible for everything IP related worldwide. Congratulations and good luck. Thank you, Jennifer, for being first. Let's see. I think everything else is working. I am feeling so much better today. I am feeling like a world better than I did yesterday. Of course, it helps to have, like, as soon as I stopped live streaming, go to sleep and not wake up till about, I don't know, an hour ago. That made all the difference for me. So let's see. We can get a little more. I want some more color in this. No, that's worse. I think it's just the lighting. All right, we'll deal with that later. All right, good morning. Let's get started because court already has, and we have a little bit. Let's do birthdays now. Josh, if we can, and then we're gonna pick up where court started. After the first break, we should be caught up. So, yeah, court has started. It's all right. There we go. We're gonna sing to Scott, Megs 108, and Todd. Everyone stand up, take a deep breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice with your neighbor, warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. Okay, we're ready. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Scott, Megs 108, and Todd. Happy birthday to you. Scott, Megs 108, and Todd, happy birthday. Happy birthday. There are many wonderful days. Today is your special day. I realize there are a million places you could be and a million people you could have celebrated with, but you chose to be here with us. The privilege, pleasure, the honor, the joy is ours. Hopefully we can turn some of that joy back to you, make your day a little more specialer. Begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dunlap's house, Andy's Grill, Bob Evans, and Cracker Barrel. It's coming back to me now. I'm feeling it. Today. Happy birthday to all who are celebrating. We're going to begin by watching court, if that's all right. So you eat your pancakes. We're going to watch court. Everyone will be happy. My 5-year-old has been singing along. Allie, that's awesome. That's an easy song to sing to. Nobody has an excuse. If you can't sing along, tap your feet or your finger or blink. Blink to the beat. That's all you need to do. Just participate in some little way. You'll feel better, I promise. Colleen has French toast as usual. If pancakes are not your gig. Good. It's good to be back. All right, it's good to be back. Let's get ready to go to court, though. So, what else was there? Was there something else? There was one other thing. I sent Mrs. Ora and all the kids to Raleigh for the day. So it should be quiet in the background. I shouldn't have beep, 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 back door alarms going off. But all right, here we go. Did you get my 5 for the TV? Greeners, I did. Yes. TV's lined up. Everything's in order for the TV. All right, big drum solo to finish us off, then we're going to start court. Ready? Hi-hat. Around the toms and then bang the crash. Awesome. All right, happy birthday. Let's go ahead and go to court because that's where things happen, especially when we're watching court. Give me just a minute to make sure we have it. Oh, we do. Okay. Judge, you there? Awesome. Thank you.
Mr. Zalman.
We're going to be caught up in a little bit, but we're about 20 minutes behind. That's my fault.
Please
Happy
approach.
birthday. You look good.
Oh, they're going to approach, so we're going to speed up. Zoom, zoom. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay. There's Donna. Sidebar's over. We're already catching up. I feel so much better. Had a huge crowd here yesterday. We had like about 4.3 thousand people here at Peak.
Sidebar actually addressed one of the motions that I was going to make. With respect to the state's case, at this point in time, the defense would move for judgment of acquittal.
There's a JOA we're
State's
expecting.
indicted Mrs. Adelson on 3 counts: first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation to commit first-degree murder. All 3 charges, obviously, of the indictment require that the state present evidence that Mrs. Adelson intended for Mr. Markel to be killed. However, as this court is aware, judgment of acquittal should rarely be granted on the issue of intent. However, the remaining issues are different. Specifically, whether the evidence lends itself to a finding that Donna Adelson was a principal to first-degree murder, whether she conspired for Mr. Markel to be killed, or she solicited another to kill Markel. To go through this briefly, Your Honor, to prove the count 1, the state has to establish, obviously in the light most favorable to the state, the evidence would have to support a finding that Mr. Markel is dead. The death was caused by the criminal act of Mrs. Adelson, and there was a premeditated killing of Daniel Markel. Since there's no evidence that Donna Adelson herself committed the crime, you have to look at the principal instruction. Principal instruction requires that in the light most favorable to the state at this stage of the trial, that there is competent evidence that Donna Adelson helped somebody else or other persons commit the crime, specifically that she intended the crime to occur, and I think we go back to the initial statement I made about intent, but also that she did some act or said something that was intended to and that did incite, cause, encourage, assist, or advise the other person or persons to actually commit the crime. And for this, I think it's important that we look at how that is defined. And the most recent case on the issue where it was discussed at length is Denise Williams. And the Williams case, the first DCA, focused on what was done the day of. So in this case, it would be July 18th of 2014. And the site for the Williams case is 314 Southern 3rd, 775. It's first DCA from 21. It's our position, Your Honor, that there's no evidence that Donna Adelson did some act or said something that was intended to and that did incite, cause, encourage, assist, advise, or advise the other person or persons to commit the crime. And as Williams indicated, you have to focus on what Mrs. Adelson did on July 18th of 2014. Williams' decision says proof of conspiracy alone is not enough. And so, in the light most favorable to the state, let's go through briefly what the evidence reflects. Daniel Markel was killed by Sigfredo Garcia, who was driven to and from the scene by Luis Rivera on July 18th of 2014.
The bailiff's playing Candy Crush.
Both of them were solicited by Catherine McBenowa to drive from South Florida to Tallahassee. Luis Rivera testified that they were hired by the Wendy lady to get her kids back. Luis Rivera testified that he saw that Sigfredo Garcia had a picture of Markel with some writing which he believed to be an address. They made 2 trips to Tallahassee. During both of those trips, according to Mr. Lacoste, Wendy Adelson acted extremely anxious and exhibited odd behavior. At the time of both of those trips, Mr. Lacoste was scheduled to be heading out of town, and he drove a vehicle that looked similar to the ones rented by the shooter. There's no evidence that my client ever spoke with Catherine McBenowa, Sigfredo Garcia, or Luis Rivera.
Your client did speak, however, with Charles Adelson in the chain of communications. I believe the state's wording was the train cars.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm going to get to that.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. The evidence, the undisputed evidence, is that Charlie Adelson kept stacks of stapled cash in his house. There is no evidence that Donna Adelson did the same. The evidence also reflects that Charlie Adelson had a safe the size of a refrigerator. There's no evidence that Donna Adelson had a similarly large safe. Before Mr. Markel was murdered,
You don't need a safe to
Wendy Adelson told Jeff Lacoste that the only way she could leave Tallahassee is if something happened to Mr. Markel.
She had a similar sized washing machine.
There is no evidence that Donna Adelson was aware of this statement made by Wendy Adelson. And there is no evidence that she also agreed that there was no way that Wendy Adelson could leave Tallahassee unless something happened to Dan Markel. Before Mr. Markel was murdered, Wendy Adelson told Mr. Lacoste that Charlie looked into hiring a hitman in the summer of 2013 after relocation was denied. There is no statement in evidence whatsoever that Donna Adelson was either aware of that, said or did anything to encourage that or incite that. There's also no evidence that had been admitted that Donna Adelson was aware of the claim, that Charlie Adelson had actually looked into that. And additionally, before Mr. Markel was murdered, whenever Charlie was on the phone with his mother, he would walk out of the house to speak with his mother on the phone when Catherine McBenowa was there. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Catherine McBenowa went to Charlie's house. Charlie, according to the evidence in the light most favorable to the state, Charlie told her that his parents had just left. I rewatched her testimony over the weekend. During her testimony, she did not say that Charlie said anything at that point about his parents leaving money at the house. She testified that she woke up the next morning and Charlie said he had put the money in the trunk. She then left and tried to locate Sigfredo Garcia. She testified that when she got the money back later that day or the following day, the money was stapled together.
He doesn't sound like he believes this
Her
argument.
testimony was pretty clear. She said a couple days later, I'm pretty sure I contacted him and asked him why the money was back. She did not say that she did. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Donna Adelson followed her daughter's instructions and used the last name Adelson for her grandchildren. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Donna Adelson conveyed the message from their family attorney, Weinstein, to Rob Adelson to not talk to the cops. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Donna Adelson wrote checks from Charlie Adelson's business account to Catherine McBenowa at Charlie's instruction. The evidence that has been admitted reflects that that business belonged to Charlie from 2012 to 2020. As this court knows, being a manager of an LLC is not the same as being an owner. After Mr. Markel was murdered and the bump happened, Donna Adelson begged the undercover to go to the cops and tell them what he knew. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Charlie kept up the lie that he told Donna Adelson when discussing the arrest of Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera. Now, the only way, it is our position, the only way that the state overcomes counts 1 and 3 is by improper stacking of inferences. They have evidence that Donna Adelson allegedly hated Mr. Markel. The evidence is that Donna Adelson didn't like how Dan Markel treated Wendy. The evidence reflects that from 2012 to 2013, according to the emails from Donna Adelson, a non-negotiable was relocation. However, after July 31st of 2013, there has been no evidence admitted in this trial that Donna Adelson said or did anything to convey the message that she would do anything for Wendy and the children to move to South Florida. There's no mention.
As to the argument about inferences, however, inferences plus a confession, and you're saying the state has not met its burden?
Judge, I'm getting to that.
He's like, wait.
There's no evidence that she solicited anyone to murder Markel aside from these assumptions. The emails, the text messages, the testimony, no one has said that my client solicited anybody to commit murder. The evidence reflects that Donna Adelson vented to Charlie Adelson about how Markel treated Wendy. But as I said, there's no evidence aside from assumption that she went a step further. The state has submitted the July 17th, 2013 email to her parents' shared account, and one of her parents responded, "Wow." The evidence also reflects that had it been Donna Adelson that responded, all the other email correspondence that's been admitted reflects that she would have sent something much longer. But even if she did know it, the motion itself, and I would ask the court to take a look at the prayer for relief in that grandmother motion, it was not to prevent Donna Adelson from spending time with the boys. It was to unsupervised. It was to prevent her from spending time with the boys in contravention of the right of first refusal, not to prohibit any unsupervised contact. So even if the court were to find that in the light most favorable to the state that my client was aware that the grandmother motion was filed, the relief that the state believes was sought is not what was sought in the motion.
It sounds like not only does he not believe his argument, he doesn't know it.
What the confession, as I heard it, was that she wrote the checks.
Jackie doesn't seem impressed by this either.
I think we'll get the court reporter to read it if need be, but go ahead.
The judge is like, I heard differently.
What she did after the murder is not evidence of her intent prior to the murder. And that's what Williams talks about. What evidence is there in the light most favorable to the state that prior to the murder, Mrs. Adelson did something? I think that if we were before the court on a different charge and the statute of limitations had not expired on it, that the situation might be different. But we're here for principal to first degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation. Venting about how somebody's treating their daughter is not the same as asking somebody to have them killed. The evidence reflects that, I know that the state's argument or belief is that the birthday gift is a murder. The birthday gift, the evidence reflects, was the party and the caterer. You have to make an inference, on top of another inference, that the birthday gift was murder. So focusing on what evidence exists as to my client's statements and actions prior to the murder actually happening. According to Williams, judgment of acquittal is appropriate on count one.
Concerning Williams specifically, was there evidence of consciousness of guilt admitted against the defendant in the same way it's been in this trial?
In Williams?
Yes.
I don't believe so.
So in addition to any circumstantial evidence, any inference, we also have in this record the defendant allegedly making a confession, suborning perjury, and attempting to flee. As to those pieces of evidence linking up with the others, what is your argument?
Well, Your Honor, I think Williams speaks to the fact that there's even more evidence. Williams, you had the co-conspirator testifying directly that Miss Williams was involved in the planning, but she wasn't involved in the execution. All of those, the after the fact things, yes, it might be relevant to consciousness of guilt. However, it doesn't overcome the absence of evidence as to what Donna Adelson did on July 18th of 2014. That's what Williams speaks to.
And you are disputing that she dropped off any money to Charles Adelson on that date as payment to the trigger man.
What I'm saying is that there's no evidence that she knew on July 18th. In the light most favorable to the state, obviously I disagree ultimately that that's what happened, but in the light most favorable to the state, which is the standard that we're applying here today, there has to be that next step, that she knew what it was for. And there's no evidence that she did. As a result, Your Honor, we're asking that the court grant judgment of acquittal on counts 1 and count 3.
Response from the state.
They're basically surrendering on the conspiracy count. Waving the white flag. Okay, you got us on that one.
In considering this JOA argument as to whether there is sufficient evidence for this defendant to be a principal to the charges, the state first wants to point out the emails in this case that detail the defendant's hate for Dan Markel and her motive. If he's out of the picture, then Wendy and the grandsons can come to live in Miami where she is, and she was the person who benefited most from this crime by them being able to do that. We also heard from Luis Rivera. He said that he and Garcia followed Dan Markel's car from his home to the daycare, to the gym the day of the murder, and had surveilled Dan Markel's comings and goings from the park outside of Trescott Drive in the month before and the weekend of the murder. We also saw on the defendant's planner where in 2014 she had the year, make, model of Dan Markel's car as well as his license plate.
Life without parole.
We also heard from Catherine McBanois. She said that Charles Adelson said that his parents had just been at his house the night of the murder when she arrived, and then also told her his mom had washed the money. This was the same money that was provided to the killers and that McBanois found was wet. That testimony was corroborated by phone evidence showing that the defendant stopped at Charlie Adelson's house the night of the murder. We saw the text message from her saying she's outside his house, and that was during the short stretch of highway where she has 1 hour unaccounted for on her drive, when the rest of her drive she was able to accomplish within the estimated time that the mapping software would think that she would have. We also heard from Rob Adelson and heard that she told him not to talk to the FBI, and when he let her know that he already had, she said, well, you don't know anything anyway. She also had a complete lack of curiosity about what happened, according to him, and said that, I don't know and I don't care what happened, it's not my concern. We saw from the evidence that this defendant had an access to a large amount of cash, kept her cash in a safe, and that it was very common for she and Charlie Adelson to transfer cash back and forth to each other. We saw that she signed 44 checks to Catherine McBanois from Adelson Institute over the course of 2 years. This is despite the fact that Charlie Adelson had signing authority there. He could have done it himself if it was just him acting alone here. We also heard that in 2015, Harvey Adelson bought Adelson Institute back from Charlie Adelson, and we saw on the summary of the checks where roughly half the checks written to Catherine McBanois were written from fall of 2015 to spring of 2016, where Harvey Adelson would have been back as one of the primaries in the business. Donna Adelson, we also saw from the bump video, she was handed an article with Danny's picture about the murder, and she calls her son. He's the first call that she makes, and she tells Charlie specifically that this involves the both of us and that it involves the two of us when she's talking about the article that she was handed about Dan Markel's murder. So while there is a lot of circumstantial evidence and inferences in this case, there is also direct evidence, and the state argues that her admission that after being handed an article about the murder that it involves both of us and it involves the two of us to Charlie Adelson is direct evidence and an admission of guilt in this case. And she also tells Charlie Adelson the TV costs $5, or this TV is about $5. And that's the same TV that's referenced that Charlie Adelson bought instead of hiring a hitman, and that Wendy's family, that her mother helped set up as part of her alibi and emailed Wendy about that day after the appointment was made by her father.
She's shaking her
When
head.
the wire took place, she and Charlie Adelson are overheard discussing the fact that they don't need to be talking on the phone. They don't need to be talking in an apartment. They go to great lengths to take a walk outside, to sit down by the water where they can't be overheard, to sit by the pool where they believe they're not able to be heard by law enforcement. And on the wire, we see the same pattern of communication that was seen in the call detail records before the wire took place. Donna to Charlie to Catherine to Garcia. And this is consistent with Magbanoir's testimony of how communication was relayed in this case.
Before you continue, Ms.
Yes,
Dugan,
ma'am.
specifically as to the argument of stacking inferences, what is the state's position?
Stacking inferences.
The state's position is there are inferences in this case. There is circumstantial evidence in this case. However, there is also direct evidence. Even if there was only circumstantial evidence, the Bush case from the Florida Supreme Court did away with excluding every reasonable hypothesis of innocence in circumstantial evidence cases. However, we have more than just that here. We have this defendant writing checks to the middleman of this murder. We have her admitting it involves the two of us, and we also have her suborning perjury by admitting to one of her friends in custody, Patricia Bird, that she did do what she was accused of. That's what Miss Bird said on direct, and I clarified that with her on redirect. Was it that she told you that she just wrote checks, or did you specifically ask her, did you do what she's accused of, or did you do what they say you did? And she said that no. She said she did what she was accused of. And she's also offering to pay for false testimony from Bird and from Miss Bernhardt,
$10,000
and
to the
even
piano.
writing a script for Miss Bernhardt to come in and recite in trial. We also have Donna Adelson adopting Charlie Adelson's extortion defense during and after Charlie's trial through text messages. And on the other hand, we have texts between Donna Adelson and Charlie Adelson in 2016 where we see that Charlie Adelson is telling her that his attorney is meeting with Garcia's attorney, and we see her reaction to that, which is not consistent with someone who believed that they were being extorted by Garcia or by that group for the past 2 years. We also see the 2016 text messages where we see Donna Adelson's reaction to Charlie Adelson workshopping this other possible theory of Dan Markel's murder. And our argument is that reaction is not consistent with somebody who believed that she was being extorted, according to Charlie Adelson, for the past 2 years. We also have evidence of consciousness of guilt in this case. We have her fleeing with an emergency fast-track visa she sought to obtain within hours of Charlie Adelson's verdict. And within also hours of Charlie Adelson's verdict, sending a text that says, basically, I'm next, but that won't happen, and I'll take care of that. And then going to board this flight to a non-extradition country a week later.
This should be your
so
closing
the state's argument
This
is all of that circumstantial evidence combined with the direct evidence in this case, in the light most favorable to the state, there has been competent substantial evidence that a reasonable trier of fact could find the existence of the elements of this crime beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right, the legal standard the court must apply at this point is reviewing the evidence in the light most favorable to the state. I believe in Turner versus State 29 Southern 3rd 361. In moving for a judgment of acquittal, a defendant admits the facts and evidence in every conclusion favorable to the state that may be reasonably inferred from the evidence. As to the direct evidence, the circumstantial evidence, and also the consciousness of guilt evidence taken together, I believe this is sufficient to overcome the matter that was raised in Williams versus State. The motion for judgment of acquittal will be denied at this time. Does the defense, as to counts 1 and 3 specifically of the indictment, does the defense have any other motions to raise?
Just a moment.
Williams versus State, saying you have to prove that she was involved in it. The judge is saying there's enough here to show that she was. And he's like, you don't have any evidence what she did on that date. I say, no, I think we do. I think you can connect the dots.
Judge, there was an issue that Your Honor raised last week concerning advice of counsel. I don't know if we can approach to address that.
You may.
Whoa. Advice of counsel. Jackie says I'll participate in this one. We're gonna skip forward just a little bit because we can. I don't know how long this sidebar is gonna last. We're just a couple minutes behind right now. It's very brief, I think. Nope. Still going, still going. They're still talking. We're catching all the way up. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sidebar is over. All right, let's see. Judge McJudgerson, member for 6 months, and so this has bothered me. If Donna literally washed the money, why didn't she literally dry it? Throw it in the lingerie bag and be done. Is it
Please
lingerie?
bring in the jurors.
But does lingerie dry? I guess lingerie dries faster. Oh no, lingerie, is that like a special bag to prevent the delicates from getting damaged? I like to think that she just had a tumble dryer just full of money, and it was just, and like the heater wouldn't turn on because the dollar bills are blocking the vent. She's like, just screw it. I'll bring it to him wet. It took an hour for them to stack it all. So it was all sticking to itself. It's like, well, now I'm going to staple it. Lunacy gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Yes, a special bag. I don't have one of those. Of course, I don't, this is TMI. I don't have much in the way of lingerie either, so I don't need that. Maybe Mrs. R.A. has one. I should ask her. Michelle's Mixed Media Madness member for 22 months. OG. Love the channel and chat. Thank you, Michelle. 4M. Appreciate it. Lunacy gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Lunacy. We are fast forwarding here. Sit with you. Here comes the jury. I live a good life. Mrs. R.A. just does the laundry for me and never complains. It's just, I open the drawers and laundry is folded. She's absolutely amazing. I do tell her that. I don't just like, oh, that's good.
Yes. Okay. Everyone can be seated. Good morning, members of the jury.
Good morning.
I hope everyone had a good, restful, long weekend. At this point in time, we are going to begin with the defense's case in chief. Mr. Zellman, you may call the defense's first witness.
Annie Cunningham? She's the California witness, right?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly. You can adjust the microphone as you need.
Morning. Good morning.
Just pull that microphone a little over closer to you. There you go.
Okay.
Make sure you speak into it so everyone
Yes.
can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you could, tell us your name and then spell it for the court reporter.
My name is Ann Elizabeth Cunningham, ANNEELIZABETH, Cunningham, CUNNINGHAM.
Thank you.
She has
Ms.
all the letters.
Cunningham, you're aware why we're here today, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where, I don't want your address, but where do you live?
I live in Naples, Florida,
Okay.
and New Jersey.
Okay, so you spend some time in New Jersey
Dual
during the year
residency.
and some time in the state of Florida.
That is correct.
All right. And tell us, what did you do? Are you retired?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and what did you do for your career?
I was a teacher, a special education teacher.
Okay. Do you know Donna Adelson?
Yes, I do.
And how long have you known Miss Adelson?
Since 2009.
Okay. And how is it that the two of you met?
Excuse me?
How did you meet?
We met when my life partner and I drove to Florida and arrived on Christmas Eve, and the only place that was open was a Chinese restaurant, and he bit into a spare rib and cracked his tooth.
Okay.
So he actually went to high school with Harvey, and
Okay.
Harvey was a practicing dentist at the time.
Okay, and what is his name?
Ronald Gutterson.
Okay, and so he cracked his tooth and
On
what
a spare
happened?
rib.
And he called a mutual friend from high school also and said, who do we know in South Florida who can help me? And our friend mentioned Harvey's name, and we called him, and he came in the next day to treat Ronnie.
Okay, and when you said they went to high school together, that wasn't in Florida, right?
No, it was in Manhattan, New York.
Okay, all right, very good. So he was able to take care of Ronald?
Yes, he made a special trip, it was Christmas Day, to come in and care for him.
Okay, and then how did that lead to you meeting Mrs. Adelson?
When Ron returned, he said that he had re-met a former high school classmate of his, and that he was a very lovely man, and that he thought it would be very nice if maybe we had dinner together with his wife.
And did you do that?
We did.
Okay, and from
Have
there,
spare
did you
ribs.
develop a strong friendship?
We did. We all got along very well and developed a friendship.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not buying the story.
And
Ribs
when
at a
you spent
China
your
place.
time in Florida, was that Naples at that point?
No, it was in southeast Florida,
Okay.
Aventura.
All right. And was that closer to where the Adelsons were living at that time?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So did you spend quite a bit of time together?
We did.
Okay. Socializing?
We did.
Did you travel together at all?
Quite often.
Okay. So you had a lot of contact over the years?
Very much so.
Okay. Did you have the opportunity to speak to her on the telephone when you were away in New Jersey?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you say you had regular contact throughout?
Regular contact.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, this nice young lady over here, she's typing every word that we're saying. And I have a bad habit of talking over people, and she will shoot me if I do that. So I'm going to
And
try.
I have a bad habit of speaking quickly.
So you and I are going to need
She
to make
didn't
sure
get
we
the point.
wait until the other person finishes before we start to speak, okay? So you had regular phone contact with Mrs. Adelson while you were in New Jersey each year?
Yes.
And then spending time together while you were in Florida?
Yes.
And you said it started out in Aventura, Florida, and that was close to where she lived. At some point you got your home then in Naples, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, but still continued to spend time with the Adelsons?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to meet her children?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I met two of her children.
And who were they?
I met Wendy,
Okay.
and I met Charlie.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity with the Adelsons to spend time with Wendy, her children, and Danny?
Yes.
Okay. And you
Is this
never
a
met
character
Rob?
witness?
No.
Okay. All right. How would you best describe Donna Adelson and what you've come to know of her over these many years?
Objection, relevance, and 404, Your Honor.
Sustained.
May we approach?
You may.
You may, but the answer is sustained. Okay, we're zipping through the sidebars really quickly because we're still just a couple minutes behind. Let's see here. Actually, we're less than 10 minutes behind. Wait for it.
Heard her threaten to have somebody.
Wait, sorry. There we go. Okay. Sorry. They're just finishing. We're trying to catch up. We're less than 10 minutes behind, so. For relevance in 403, judge is like, yep, it's not coming in. Did I go too far back again? We'll wait. We'll wait this one out. I think they're about to walk across the screen.
objection is overruled on 404 grounds. As to the relevance, let's move to that, Ms. Fulford.
Thank you, Judge.
Wow.
With respect to
She won
Mrs. Adelson and your observations of her over these, I guess, 15 years, have you found her to be a hateful person?
Never.
Is she aggressive towards others?
Never.
Have you ever heard her threaten anyone?
Never.
Have you ever seen her harm anyone?
Never.
Have you ever heard her threaten to have somebody harmed?
No.
Did she ever make statements to you? Well, let me ask you this first. You were friends with her, obviously, when Wendy was going through her divorce.
Yes.
Rob, welcome.
During
Good to
that
see you.
time period, through the divorce, and up to the time that Danny Markel was killed, you're aware that he was murdered?
Yes, I am.
Okay. At any time during that period, did she ever say she wanted to have Danny Markel killed?
Never.
Ever say she wanted him to be harmed?
Never.
She got upset, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how is it that she displayed her anger over that situation?
She would be frustrated, and then she would calm down, and she told me that she...
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
You can't say what she said.
Donna has
Yes,
to take a
ma'am.
stand
Okay.
if we get any of that.
But during that time period, did she ever do anything other than vent to you about it?
Never.
Did she ever claim she was going to do anything about
Never.
it? Okay. Would you say that she is supportive of her children?
Very.
Okay. And she's Jewish. Are you as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you find her parenting consistent with the traditions of raising Jewish children?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a bad start for defense, I think.
There's
This
been
is the best they've
some
got.
testimony that she kind of managed her kids' lives. Did she give them advice?
Yes.
Did the children, as they were adults, make up their own minds about what they wanted to do?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, you indicated that you would talk on the phone with Miss Adelson. Did you use home phones to do that during some of the period of time?
Pardon me, I'm sorry?
Home phones, like landlines?
Sometimes.
Okay. Did you use cell phones?
Many times.
Okay. Did you travel with Harvey and Donna Adelson?
Many times.
Okay. And as part of your travel, did you go overseas?
Yes.
Were they one-way
And in your
tickets?
travel overseas, did you ever use any of the applications that you can put on your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall which applications you all used?
Signal and
WhatsApp
WhatsApp.
and Viber.
And what was the
Viber.
purpose of using those?
Viber?
Because you didn't get charged, for, and also to keep in communication. If we were on a cruise or on a land trip, where are you? Where are you? When are we meeting? Because they were free.
Okay.
It was easy.
So while you were overseas, instead of having to pay increased rates on your cellular plan from the United States, you could use this app for
That
free.
word got away from her a little bit.
Did you use those apps with Mrs. Adelson to hide any information from law enforcement, like encrypted, so that they wouldn't know what was going on?
No.
Okay. I want to talk to you, I'll lead you forward to the date that Danny Markel was murdered. That was July
just gonna lead
18th
you.
of 2014. Do you recall
Truth comes
speaking
out.
to Mrs. Adelson on that date?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and can you explain to us how you were contacted and the nature of the conversation?
I was called, and Donna was quite hysterical.
Okay.
And she said to me, Danny's been shot.
Sustained.
Goes
Do
to-
not speak to what anyone said out of court, ma'am.
Your Honor.
Please continue.
May
It
we
is
approach,
strict.
please?
Please approach.
She might win this one. I think she was going to say goes to state of mind. She's looking for an exception to hearsay here, and I think there probably will be one to let this one in. Might be a quick sidebar. Rob says, this is what a witness looks like when they're too well prepared. Feels scripted, even though it's not actually scripted. And it probably shows up in the style of how quickly she's answering. She's very comfortable with the questions, knows what the answer is, and sort of jumps right in, doing the right thing, getting the word out. But every time she's trying to say what Donna said, if there is not an exception to hearsay, the only way that we can get that testimony in at this point in the trial, when defense is presenting their case, is if Donna takes the stand. You can't have somebody else testify for Donna. She has to get up on the stand. So if the defense feels that some of the things she said that the judge won't allow in are important, Donna's going to be up there in the hot seat, and then she gets asked all the questions. Donna, what's this about the TV's about 5? Explain this, explain that, and that's going to be incredible if we get that. Amber, good morning. Glad you could make it. Good to have you here. Let's see. Viber is a great substitute when WhatsApp doesn't work. Also makes it available to call numbers who do not have Viber. I use Viber to call Recovery Addict even though he doesn't have Viber. I should probably get Viber then, right? The problem is, well, we'll talk about that off air. I'm trying to find a good system where overseas people don't have to pay money to call into the burner phone. Is it an excited utterance? If she was really excited and happy to say it. I don't know if you can keep that excited utterance. Usually that has to be in a time frame close to when the excitement happened. So if she had first heard that Dan's been shot and the first person she called was this lady, and she's like, Ann, Dan's been shot. Okay, there's an excited utterance. But if it's like later that day, she's telling all her friends, she calls Ann, hey, just wanted to let you know, that's not going to count. You can't just stretch out that excited utterance exception for every time you tell someone else new. Yeah, the excitement has to still be going on. And it has to be reasonable. All right, Alicia is there. I think she's one of my favorite photogs. First of all, she gets the front row seat, which is great. So often, a judge will put the still photographer in a corner. And sometimes that's great for angles. And yes, they've got the lenses. They can zoom in and take pictures. But she's like front and center, gets to see everything. Love that. Let's see. No groundwork laid for it yet. I want to ask her if she ever went on trips where they just bought a one-way ticket and then bought the return ticket after they arrived. I have excited utterance every day in chat. I love still photography. Those who can do it well and like have a mind for framing a good picture. You gotta have the eye and the gear. Looks like she might be moving forward. Well, they're doing more digging. Both headed back up, so it looks, well, nope. She's restarting the examination.
Thank you, Judge. Before we talk about what she might have said to you at the time that you spoke to Mrs. Adelson, was it the day that Danny was murdered?
When he was shot, yes.
Okay. And yeah, I use murdered because obviously he didn't pass away until the next day, but
yes,
he was shot and barely surviving on the 18th. So that's when I refer to that. That's why I say that date. Okay. So when you spoke to her, did she call you or did you call her? Do you recall?
She called me.
Okay. And when she called you, did she appear to be upset?
Very.
Was she crying?
Yes.
Was her tone of voice, based on your knowledge of her for the 15 years, did she seem to be upset?
Very.
Okay. Did she seem to be at a point in time where she had just learned what had occurred?
Yes.
Did she indicate to you whether she had just learned that this had happened?
Yes.
Okay.
She did.
I'm sorry?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
So this would be exciting
And
evidence.
during the course of your discussion with her about what had transpired, did she continue with this state of mind that she was upset?
Yes.
Okay. And while she was upset, what did she indicate to you?
She told me that Danny had been shot and that they were going to Tallahassee and that she was very concerned and worried about Wendy and the boys, whether they were in danger.
Okay.
Because she did not know who had shot him.
Okay. And did she indicate whether she was concerned about Danny and him being in the hospital?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did she indicate whether she had plans to go to see him at the hospital?
I don't recall.
Okay. During the time that you had this conversation with her, was this the only time that you spoke to her that evening?
I believe so. Maybe one more time.
Okay. And is it your understanding from later discussions with her that she and her husband Harvey actually did come to Tallahassee?
Yes.
Okay.
That looks weird.
Did you have an opportunity to speak with her later on while she was in Tallahassee?
Yes.
Okay.
Counter
And
shouldn't be there.
did she provide any information to you about a memorial service that took place?
Yes.
Okay. And did she tell you what had transpired at the memorial service?
She told me it was incredibly sad and painful and wrenching.
Okay. And at the time that she was telling you this, did she still was she still very upset about what had happened?
Yes.
Okay. go forward just a little point in time. Did you continue to stay in contact with Mrs. Adelson and her husband from the time that Danny was murdered moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. And you were aware at some point that her son, Charlie Adelson, who you said you had met, was arrested?
Yes, I was.
In the case. Okay. And did you keep up with the case against Charlie in social media or news or anything?
No. Okay. I really don't do social media.
Okay.
And of course it was on the news.
Okay. Did you watch it on the news?
As little as possible.
Okay. There came a time that Charlie Adelson was on trial for the charges against him. Were you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. At that time period, in speaking to Mr. and Mrs. Adelson, was it brought to your attention that
Sustained.
at some point did you allow Mr. and Mrs. Adelson to stay in your home in Naples?
Yes, I did.
For the purpose of watching the trial?
Yes.
Okay. And
like a watch
are you aware
party?
that they actually did stay there for a good portion of the trial?
Yes.
All right. And at some point, moving forward, did you become aware that Charlie Adelson was convicted of the offenses with which he was charged?
Yes.
Okay.
We're resuming our counter. Sorry, it took a minute to get it put together. But
Were you aware
57.
that, well, you knew their grandchildren, both of their grandchildren from Danny, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware that there was a bar mitzvah planned for the younger one in January of 2023? No, 2024.
Yes.
Okay. And did you actually attend that?
Yes.
Okay.
Sandy, thanks for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, thank you.
Did there come a point in time where, after the verdict, that you spoke to Mrs. Adelson about what in the world she was going to do?
Yes.
Okay. And did she discuss with you that she had planned?
The answer would call for hearsay. Do you have an exception to offer concerning those?
It's going to go to her state of mind, Judge.
You need to lay the foundation as to why this specifically would go to state of mind.
Of this judge.
Thank you. So
Tim,
could you explain to us
Tim, good luck. Thank you so much. We'll have
the
you in our prayers.
behavior, how Mrs. Adelson was acting at the time? Don't tell us what she said yet, but how was she portraying herself at that time? Was she upset?
Yes.
Okay. How did she express that to you, that she was upset? Not in words, just your observations, hearing her on the phone, etc.
She cried a lot.
Okay.
She was very concerned about Harvey.
Okay.
Very concerned about Charlie.
Okay.
And just incredibly sad.
Okay. And during the time that she was sad and worried about Harvey and Charlie, now that he's going to prison for life, you knew
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So during that, when she's having these emotions, did she tell you that she was planning on
Please approach.
We're getting caught up really quickly here as we're having a bunch of sidebars here. Give me 1 second. We are now, let's see. There we go. We are, Harvey's here. We're 5 minutes behind right now. And we're about to come to a break, so we're going to be caught up in just a second.
Members of the jury, we are going to take a brief break before we continue with the direct examination of this witness. The bailiff will take you to the jury room.
This is early for a break. 9:45 is, we've only been going for an hour, basically. So this is a break.
Cunningham, you may step down. Please step outside the doors. Don't
Argument.
discuss your testimony with any other person.
Yes, sir.
Witness is excused so the lawyers can argue something outside of her presence and outside the presence of the jury. Probably going to be brief.
We have Everyone can be seated. We'll resume with the testimony. We'll try to at least within the next 5 minutes. That should give the defense an opportunity to confer with the defendant. If anyone needs to use the restroom or stretch your legs, please do so now.
Gives the defense an opportunity to confer with the defendant. They're like, hang on, we're approaching the territory where we need to ask Donna if she wants to go down this road on the defense. What could this be? This could be her testimony. If they can't get in what they've wanted to get in, right? They've tried to get some hearsay, and they're saying state of mind is the exception. If the judge rules it's not, and they think we have to have this in, this is key to our defense. Talk to Donna and say, look, you're going to have to take the stand if we get this in, if we want this in, because there's no other way. There's no other way to hear it. We're all caught up, by the way. We're live. So we're looking at the wall here. It's getting juicy. A few minutes with Donna. Asking if she's getting on the stand or if this witness is out. Do you think Jackie thought that they would? I mean, this was a shoo-in. She thought, yeah, I'd be able to get this information under her state of mind. Sounds like they weren't able to. She tried to lay the foundation. We'll see. Yay, we're caught up. I do apologize for being late. It's sad that this witness believes Donna's story. I believe the witness, this witness. I believe that she is testifying to what she saw in Donna. And, somebody, especially if there's just a friend that you're around a little bit, or even if you're around a lot, you can be one person around your friends and another person around your family. And I think that's what we have here. A witness is like, I never saw anything bad. Well, she might have been on her best behavior around you, or I don't think this witness is lying to us at all, or being untruthful. I think she's well prepped, probably too prepped, and just it's like, we just went to dinner, we went on trips, we had fun, there was no problems. She was like anybody else. Just has a skeleton in her closet. All right, or Donna lies a lot. Did anyone else notice the different vibe Donna has in the presence of this witness? I did not see that. Let me see if I can look on the Wayback Machine. Okay, so taking a quick peek at Donna. Oops, that's not it. I need a clean feed over there. There we go. Okay, let's go. This is Donna.
Adelson.
I'll turn off the sound for a second. Her demeanor. See if we can find another spot where it shows her. Fast forward. There's Donna. I'm not seeing a lot different. Donna hasn't been showing a lot of emotion. You can tell when she's upset or doesn't agree with it.
Everyone can be seated.
That's it. Okay, we're back. We're back from break.
You can check how many jurors are still using the restroom.
How many jurors are still lined up? Donna appeared sad and emotional seeing her friend. That's the best way to watch court. Maybe Donna was expecting the judgment of acquittal to be granted. I heard that Charlie, on the day of the verdict in his trial, had given away all his commissary to his cellmates, because he's like, I'm out of here. I'm about to be vindicated. So maybe it runs in the family, and maybe she thought that she would win every battle they face. I think she's upset with her attorneys, but when she got up while the jury was going out, she looked a little indignant. Sorry. Important differences. Just waiting for the jury. They need to upgrade the bathroom facilities in this. Clearly it's a backlog here. Is she the only witness? The only witness so far, but we'll see what comes next. There's a lot out there in social media about Donna's lawyer, Jackie. Some is just historical. She did used to be a judge. She's not a judge anymore. I don't know the ins and outs of that. I know what's out there. I know what's been reported, but I don't know the meaning behind it. So I'm not trying to focus on that, and would ask you not to do that in chat. But I'll say this: if she shouldn't be a lawyer, then Florida has ways to get rid of lawyers that shouldn't be lawyers. But she is a lawyer. She has a unique style. She does what she does, and Donna hired her. So I can't go much beyond that. We'll see if it ends up working in Donna's favor here at the end of the trial. Tumwater Troy, thank you very much for the super sticker. Like her or not, her haircut is adorable. Used to be a judge. She's got some familiarity with that. I like the idea of having a former judge as a lawyer, because I'm sure that there's one perspective that can be gained by being a prosecutor and seeing cases from that side and building cases and putting together evidence and discovery process and walking a case through court and seeing it to a verdict. There's another perspective that comes from being a defender on the defense side. And I think it helps as a lawyer to shape your arguments, to know what the other side's thinking or know how they're feeling. So when we see somebody who's worked as a prosecutor and then has worked as a defense lawyer, I think I like seeing that mindset. And the idea that you can add a third element to that and say, now here's one who's also been a judge, who looks at it from, because a judge has to be a different picture altogether. They've got the experience as a lawyer typically, and then here they are, officiating, calling the balls and strikes in court, and then going back to lawyer. I personally like that idea, but I know it's like a step down on the career ladder. You think judges is higher than lawyers, but. I'm a little quiet. Is that a little better? Check 1, 2, test 1. Oh, I am quiet. Test 1, 2, test. I'm coming in on check. Is that better? Now we can do our ASMR stream. And now the jury returns from the bathroom. Is that better? I'm not saying that's worse. You want to hear what a squishy cow sounds like, ASMR style? There you go. That's all you get. Okay, that's not my golf voice. Turn it down a little bit. That's creepy even in my ears. Viewers dropped. Where are the M&Ms? I have one box of M&Ms. My family, I will say my family, I had maybe 2 handfuls. But I have one more full, unopened, still sealed package. Judge, they were in the bathroom. They're still taking their time. I wouldn't say these are lackluster attorneys. We can argue their style or their methods, but I think they're doing their job. I don't think she's going to have a case for ineffective counsel.
Everyone can be seated. The objection is sustained. You may continue with your examination of this witness.
Objection sustained. It's
Thank
not coming
you.
in. Moving on.
Mrs. Cunningham, we were talking about the fact that you were speaking to Mrs. Adelson after the verdict came out. about her son being convicted, correct?
Yes.
Was she upset about that?
Yes.
Was she crying?
Yes.
Was she, did she appear to be distraught about the circumstances?
Yes.
Was her actions and her words to you when she was discussing this with you, was she in a calm state or an excited state?
Very excited.
Okay. And during the course of her conversation with you in that state, did it become to your attention that Mrs. Adelson was considering an option about her life because all of this had just happened?
Yes.
Okay. And what was that?
Whoa.
She was considering taking her own life.
Okay. And if you know, and if you don't, just say you don't, but if you know from those same conversations with her in that state of mind that she had, did she ever discuss with you a potential plan to just get away to clear her head?
Yes.
Okay.
Get away to Vietnam? One way?
You have just one moment?
Is that all they've got? So they got some. Donna was a great person. We had a lot of fun. She was normal. She loved her grandkids. This news really rattled her, and she thought about ending her life and wanted to get away. That's basically this witness's testimony in a nutshell. Looks like we're going for round 2.
Just one last subject I wanted to ask you about. As a Jewish mother and grandmother, are the traditions of bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, are those important to you all?
Very important.
Okay. Based on your relationship with Mrs. Adelson, was the bar mitzvah that was upcoming for her younger grandson from Mr. Markel, was that something that she was participating in?
Yes.
Was she excited about attending?
Very.
Okay. I don't have anything further.
Cross-examination.
Are you familiar with the defendant's statement that she could be buried in the bar mitzvah dress that she bought?
No, I'm not.
I guess if she was going to be buried in that dress, she probably wasn't, at least at the time she made that statement, going to be making it to the bar mitzvah. Would you agree?
No. She was always going to be making it to the bar mitzvah, as far as I knew.
Even if she was dead and buried, she was going to make it?
I never heard that.
Okay. Was she suicidal when you spoke with her? After Charlie's verdict?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Georgia makes it.
You were best friends with her?
Yes.
Okay. And she would call and vent to you about Danny Markel?
Sometimes.
All right. And did she ever call him names?
Not to my knowledge, not to me.
Did she share with you that she was planning to offer a bribe to Mr. Markel to facilitate relocation?
I don't recall.
Did she talk to you about plans to threaten or to convert the children to Christianity in order to strong-arm Mr. Markel?
She mentioned that she had said that, and she said that was so foolish of me.
Okay. When did she say that?
I don't know whether we were together or on a phone call. I'm not sure.
Did she ever tell you that she was being extorted in reference to Mr. Markel's murder?
Eventually, yes.
Okay. And when you say eventually, when did she tell you that?
After she was charged.
We were on a trip to Japan together.
Okay. When was the trip to Japan?
We took so many trips, I'm not exactly sure of the year.
Was it between the murder and the first arrests?
I don't recall.
Okay. And when she told you that she was being extorted, then naturally you learned that she knew who had killed Dan Markel.
No.
Obviously it's the people that are extorting her, right?
She didn't know what, are you talking about? Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
She was forced to make payments to the people that killed Dan Markel.
Yes.
That's what the checks were all about, right?
I don't know about the checks.
Well, when she told you she was being extorted, if it wasn't about the checks, how was she being extorted?
She was I'm confusing that with the bump, I believe. That Charlie was being extorted by Catherine.
Prior to the bump, you knew that Charlie was being extorted by Catherine.
No, I believe it was afterwards.
After the bump, you learned that Charlie was being extorted by Catherine.
I'm not sure of the timeline.
Okay. And when you learned that Charlie was being extorted by Catherine, you learned that your friend, your best friend, Donna Adelson, was also being forced to write these checks as payment to the killers that were extorting.
I don't recall.
Look at that braided beard back there. That's fantastic.
And when the phone call was made to you, you were saying, I guess it was the night of the verdict, you got the phone call and she was very upset and suicidal and so forth. What was your phone number at that time?
I believe my cell number.
Okay, what's your cell number? Just give me the last 4 digits if you want to.
1655.
Thanks, Georgia. I was about to mute it and say 8675309.
Did you watch the trial of Charlie Adelson?
At the very end.
Okay, and during the trial of Charlie Adelson, were you in regular communication with your best friend Donna Adelson?
Yes, but we didn't really discuss the trial.
Right.
Well, would it refresh your recollection to review your text messages during the trial?
Yes, it's a long time ago.
Okay. An approach. Show you those. I'm going to just draw your attention to, I've circled a few here, but you're free to look at as many as you need to for context.
Oh yes, this part I do recall.
You do recall that, thank you.
You can show if that's the same messages you're referring to.
You can use anything to refresh a witness's recollection, including, as we've heard, a ham sandwich. Defense looking at this like, we don't know what these are. Object to that, he says. She's like, I don't care. It refreshed her recollection. You can object all you want.
So you did keep some tabs on your friend during the trial of her son?
Yes.
Okay, and she was watching the trial of her son, as we learned, at your residence, right?
Yes.
Okay. And when Charlie Adelson was convicted, you disagreed with the verdict, right?
Yes.
You think the jury got it wrong, didn't you?
Yes.
And that was out of loyalty to your friend, right?
No, I thought they got it wrong.
They got it wrong. Okay. And you, in fact, said to Mrs. Adelson, I know you are all innocent, all caps, all, right?
Yes.
Meaning Charlie's innocent.
Yes.
Wendy's innocent.
Definitely.
No Adelson had anything to do with the murder of Dan Markel. Isn't that what you think?
Yes.
Okay. And when she went to Vietnam, or was trying to go to Vietnam to clear her head, she was going to clear her head in a non-extradition country. Can you agree with that?
I wasn't aware it was non-extradition.
Okay. She was going to clear her head with a one-way ticket to go do the head clearing.
She had no idea how long they were staying or where they would go.
Are you familiar with her statement that she's hoping to make it out of the airport on time?
Yes.
Hoping to make it out before what?
No, she meant the plane was on time.
No, ma'am. I'm referring to hoping to make it out before law enforcement apprehended her. You aware of that?
No.
She didn't say that statement to you.
I don't recall, really.
Okay. Do you remember Mrs. Adelson texting you after the verdict and complaining that Wendy had not even called?
No, I don't.
Would it refresh your recollection to review that message?
Fine.
Please show the defense.
That's the bottom message on this page I'm handing you.
Which one?
Bottom one.
Yes.
Does that refresh your memory?
I remember her describing Harvey being on the floor and crying like a baby.
Harvey's on the floor crying like a baby, and Wendy hasn't even called, right? Isn't that what it says? If she wrote that, didn't you just see where she wrote that?
I did. She wrote that.
And you offered to come and
There's
be
Harvey.
with her during that difficult time, didn't you?
I believe we did.
One moment, please, Your Honor.
Okay, the needle on this witness, I think, is moved in favor of prosecution. Not that this.
What type of work does your husband do, or did he do before
My
he
late husband?
retired?
My late-
Sorry, I thought you had. Is it? Maybe it's not your husband. Partner?
Partner.
Is that Mr. Gutterson?
Yes.
What type of work does he do, or what's his background?
He owned a computer consulting business.
Okay. Does he also do anything with real estate?
He did it with his ex-wife. They flipped apartments a lot. They moved a lot.
Okay.
Made a lot of money in real estate.
No further questions.
Redirect examination.
Just make sure I understand your testimony correctly. Donna didn't tell you at the time she was writing checks that she was writing checks, correct?
No.
And when you spoke about extortion, you were talking about Charlie being extorted?
Yes.
Donna, did she ever say she was actually being extorted, or
No.
how? Okay.
No.
Okay. Now, you were asked questions by the state, which implied that Ms. Adelson was going to a non-extradition country. She wasn't returning, right?
That's what I was told.
Just now, while you were
Yes,
testifying?
yes.
You didn't hear that before?
No.
Did Donna ever tell you she wasn't coming back?
Never.
In fact, she told you she was coming back, didn't she?
Definitely.
And she was coming back without a doubt to go to what?
It's a little bit of leading.
Lincoln's bar mitzvah.
Okay. I don't have anything further.
You may step down. Will this witness be recalled by the defense
No.
or the state potentially in rebuttal?
No. She's done.
Will this witness be recalled by the defense?
No, Judge, I'm sorry, I didn't.
You are released, Ms. Cunningham.
Excuse me?
You are released.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I like
Please
that
call
shirt.
your next witness.
Your Honor, defense, the next witness would be Ronald Gutterson.
Ronald Gunderson? Is that the life partner of the witness we just saw? Is that the name they said? Bless you. Oh, it was a cough, but still. All right. I want to ask him about real estate. Making bundles of money. Not stapled bundles, just maybe ask him if he staples his money. If he had a lot, maybe he does what Charlie did. Could be a Florida thing. We're going to call the whole condo association. Everybody that was on the flight to Japan, come on in.
Mr. Gutterson, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will offer will be the truth?
I do.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly so the jurors can hear you.
I hope he's funny, like he's snarky and everything.
Good morning, sir. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name for the court reporter?
My name is Ron Gutterson, Gutterson.
And how do you know my client, Donna Adelson?
I know her through her husband, Harvey Adelson, whom I went to high school with.
High school where?
New York City,
And where was that?
Stuyvesant High School.
Okay. Did you keep in touch with him over the years?
Initially, I would see Harvey yes.
Initially, yes. At some point, did you grow apart? You lived in...
Au contraire. After graduation, I saw Harvey next 25 years later at our high school reunion. And then we had one every 5 years thereafter, which I saw him. And then in, around 2008 or 9, something like that, I was in Florida for Christmas, and this is funny. I was in Florida for Christmas. We get to Florida, Miami, Christmas Eve. Everything is closed. We're hungry. What do you eat? Chinese food.
Yeah, as you do.
So we order Chinese food. I bite into the spare rib. I crack my front tooth. I call a friend of mine who's a dentist in New York who also went to high school with us. And I said to him, who do we know in Florida? I need a dentist. He gave me a choice of names, one of which was Harvey. The other fellows were academics teaching at the university. Harvey I knew from high school. I called him on Christmas. He saw me the next day, and we reconnected. And we became friendly, and then he and Donna and Annie and I would travel together, and we really bonded. The chemistry was there.
Can you describe their relationship, Donna and Harvey?
Once again?
Can you describe their relationship, Donna and
A very
Harvey?
loving couple, very together, very warm.
Were you aware that their son Charlie was arrested in this investigation?
Yes.
During Charlie's trial, can you describe Donna and Harvey's state of mind, how they were feeling about things?
To put it mildly, extremely upset, off the wall, like most caring parents would be.
Did there come a time, now your life partner is Annie Cunningham?
Cunningham?
Okay. And when you first reconnected in 2008 or 2009, did you all have a place in Miami or in South Florida?
Yes. Annie had a place in Aventura.
Okay. And at some point later, did you purchase a house on the west coast of Florida?
In 2015.
And where was that?
Naples, Florida.
At some point during the trial, did you and Annie offer to allow Donna and Harvey to stay at your place in Naples?
Yes.
Why was that?
We were not using the place. We're snowbirds. They, during the trial, were, for lack of a better word, pestered by bloggers and reporters, and they just wanted to avoid that. We live in a gated community. We offered them the use of our home, especially since we weren't there, and they availed themselves of this opportunity.
After the verdict was rendered in Charlie's case, did you speak with Harvey and Donna?
Several days later, and Annie spoke to Donna, and obviously they were distraught, and Harvey was off the wall.
What do you mean when you say off the wall?
He was devastated. His son was convicted.
Donna's getting
Now,
emotional.
I want to back up a
about
little
it.
bit. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and education?
I have an undergraduate degree in economics. I have a master's and MBA in finance. I have several credits towards my doctorate in economics.
Any prior military experience?
I was in the Army Reserve Military Intelligence Division.
And when was that?
Approximately 1966 to 1971.
After the conviction, did you become aware that Harvey and Donna were trying to travel to clear their heads?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know whether or not that was a permanent move or was it temporary?
It was, to the best of my knowledge, a temporary move. It was approximately November, and they were coming back in January or February for their youngest grandchild's bar mitzvah.
So although they were traveling, they made it clear that they'd be back for the bar mitzvah.
Yes, Donna had told Annie that she purchased a dress.
Can't say what somebody else said.
It doesn't add up.
Yes, I was aware they were going to return.
Under any set of circumstances, would they not have returned?
I don't know. Under normal circumstances, they would move heaven and earth to be there for that traditional occasion.
You search for non-extradition countries, one-way ticket, and then say, I'm going to be back in a month or two. Extradition takes time. What? The math just doesn't math here.
Mr. Gutterson, while Donna and Harvey were traveling, were you asked to assist with the rental property business?
Yes.
In what way?
The handyman, Jared, was given my phone number. I was given his phone number, and I was asked to do Harvey a favor that if Jared had any problems like purchasing a new air conditioner, a new refrigerator, he would call me for my approval.
And then, but it was clear to you, clear to Jared, that this was a temporary arrangement while Harvey and Donna were traveling.
Until he returned during his absence.
Just one more moment, Your Honor.
Huddle, Donna gets in on this one.
Nothing further, Your Honor?
Cross-exam.
You said that under normal circumstances, they were going to make every effort to return to attend that bar mitzvah, right?
Is it normal to be charged
Yes.
with murder?
Obviously, normal circumstances would not include a warrant being issued for their arrest for first-degree murder. That would be an abnormal
I
circumstance.
am not aware of that.
But you would agree that would be an abnormal circumstance that
Yes.
might prevent them
And
from
by the
coming
same
back.
token, at the time, there was no warrant out for her arrest when they left.
Right, right, but might cause them to not come back, wouldn't it?
Once again,
It might cause them to not come
it
back.
might. You'd have to think twice.
Sure. And when the verdict came down on Charlie Adelson's case, do you recall Mrs. Adelson reaching out to the two of you saying maybe she might want you to come to where she was? Do you remember that?
To Vietnam?
No, sir. She wasn't in Vietnam. I don't know exactly where she was, but she said.
You mean in Florida, in the state of Florida?
Yes, sir. Can't say exactly why, but we may need you guys to come here. Remember that?
Yeah, for moral support.
Okay. And where were you located at the time that those text messages were sent? Were you in New
To
York?
the best of my knowledge, in New Jersey.
In New Jersey. Okay. And she says that Wendy's not responding to them, so she has some issues she may need your help with. Do you remember that?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
And those were the issues regarding your assistance with managing the rental properties?
No, just overall moral support.
Okay, well, she says specifically Ron may have some work to do here. What is that reference? Is that the moral support?
That and helping with Jared, but I was never spoken to by Donna about this matter. This was between Harvey and myself.
Okay, but you understood that you may be needed to come down to
My
Florida to
services
do
may
some
be
help.
needed as a friend to assist.
Right. And you were happy to do that, right?
That's what friends are for.
In fact, the response is whenever, whatever you need, we're there.
Words to that effect, yes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
When Georgia looks at a witness, she doesn't look at them in the eyes, she looks them in the soul. It's piercing.
No question, Your Honor.
Is Mr. Gutterson released from the trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the state planning to recall him for any purpose? Have a good day, Mr. Gutterson. You are released.
So that they can stay there and sit by Harvey.
Please call your next
if they so
witness.
choose.
Your Honor, the next witness is Kelsey Gwine, who might need a few minutes to set up the presentation.
It's fine. Members of the jury, the bailiff will take you to the jury room. We will at that time hear from the next witness.
Oh, he does not want to stay. He says, we're going to go. Let's go. And they walk out. They're not sitting next to Harvey for the trial. Handwriting expert, maybe?
Everyone can be seated. Please bring in the witness so they can get their computer or other matters set up.
This must be the handwriting expert. Jake Hanna, welcome to the gallery. Jake, congratulations on that. Your courthouse has changed colors. It has gone from dark blue to light blue. First of many changes. You're part of the family now. You're one of us. You can never leave. I feel bad for some of these older individuals that have been dragged into this family's mess, no matter their loyalty. Yeah. I would hate to be dragged into a court case and testifying about a friend. Man, tough situation. Dizzy Grenade, welcome to the gallery. 17 months. Thank you very much. The defense says they're not contesting the script was written by Donna, so why would there be a handwriting expert? We did hear that in a little discussion with the judge, a little spicy moment in court that this defense says, we've never said she didn't write it. I'm not sure if that's the same as stipulating that she did, but they never said that she didn't write it. Let's see what they say with this witness. I don't understand a handwriting expert, though. It seems to be a waste of money since they said they can see that she wrote the script, though. They basically stipulated, but a stipulation is more formal than that. I don't think it's truly been stipulated in front of the jury, although I think the objection was in front of the jury or the speaking objection where he said, we've never said she didn't. So maybe the jury thinks they agree. Out and About with Diane just hit the 24-month mark. Oh, gee. It's been a wild ride. Thanks, RA, for the fun. Are you getting off now? No, don't leave us. The ride's not over. You have to go around one more time. Let's see. I tell my best friend all the time there will be there for her whenever, whatever, wherever. I hope she knows I don't mean for that kind of support for unaliving. My neighbor tells me the same thing. It's like anything you need, and that includes firearm support. I think I've got a hired gun at my disposal. Why do we need to hear the last witness if it was all between him and Harvey isn't the one on trial? Well, I think he was talking about that part of the conversation, specifically with, hey, we might need you down here for some help. I think that was just between him and Harvey. He has plenty of information and experience of being around Donna and Harvey. They went on vacations together. Lawn mowing support. My lawn is the most mowed lawn anywhere. Vince Clorth, though, buy the ticket, take the ride. 6 months. 6 months. Now this stream can be used against you, and all of them can. Let's see. I've told my friends numerous times that I'm here if they need help digging. You know, back in the day when Siri first came out debuted on the phones, we first barely had this AI version to talk to and answer questions. It's basically just like an automated Google search. It wasn't true AI at that time. They had Easter eggs in there where you could ask them questions like, I need help hiding a body. And it would be like, what are you looking for? Queries, mines? And it would give you all these options, right? Since then, I think they realized that they could be viewed as a conspirator if they provide that sort of information. And so they've taken those out. All the good ones are gone. But if you know of a good one that still answers that way, please let me know. Remember the burn after reading letter that Brian Laundries wrote? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a tough one. Yeah, support, they left. They're not going to support from here. This pause is purely to allow setup for the next witness who will have a computer to help present information. Jinx, member for 7 months. Crazy Cat had a good question or suggestion. OG, MG, NG. This is higher math. It's all I can do to just look for that 20 months mark to remember if you're OG or not. Basically, you're saying everyone's a G. Let's see. Some solid G work. G unit. There was one other comment that I was looking for that I'm missing. They contend that she wrote what the girl was telling her, Donna, to do. Also, the last two witnesses were definitely against counsel's advice. Kristen, tell me more about that. Why you feel that way? I know the counsel had said they wanted to call the lady from California first. They would be the first witness. And then when today started, we had these two instead, which seemed strange. It seemed like a weird start, right? But I guess you have to start somewhere. AC's Wildflower, member for 16 months. Happy to be back after a month of final clean out of Dad's house. Oh, man, that's tough. Y'all may be sick of this, but final PSA, love your kids. Start the clean out now. Oh, my goodness. My only fear in life, my biggest fear in life is that my wife and kids will sell all the the electronics and AV gear that I own for what I told them I spent on it. And I'm missing a plug. Hang on one second. Hang on.
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde's on the phone. Hang on one second.
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Legally Blonde, you're on speaker right now. Hang on one second. I'm trying to get you connected. Wait for it. Legally Blonde, are you there?
Yes, I know they're going to be coming back soon. I don't have the powers that Amber has, but I'm certain they'll be back soon. So I just called to answer your question really quick about the handwriting expert. I don't know why they would call a handwriting expert, because when the state brought theirs on and it was time for defense to do cross, they were like, we have no questions. We've never opposed, or whatever. They weren't saying that she didn't write that.
Did the state retain
so why would they bring in
their expert for like rebuttal as well?
I'm not sure, but I don't know why they would need it if defense is saying we're not contesting the fact that this was written by Donna.
What if they have some convoluted story like, yeah, Donna wrote it, but she was forced to write it by her cellmate who was trying to get blackmail her into saying that she tried to get her to, if it's like Inception, like there's an extra layer to this cake.
Okay, maybe you can have that dream, but I still don't know why they would need to bring a handwriting expert in to say that.
I don't know.
Because the handwriting expert would just say, no, they didn't write it, or yes, they did. Or is it like, no, this is her nervous handwriting? I'm confused.
I have not seen many handwriting experts in court, right? We talk about them all the time, like, hey, get someone in to compare these. But this is the first time I think we've watched a trial together where there's been a handwriting expert. And
okay.
I'm curious if it's a field of art or science, right? Where just depending on your perspective, you can sort of look at it in the right way and make it fit or not fit. So we might get somebody who looks at it differently and is like, actually, these are all the differences that clearly show this was not written by the same hand. We might get that.
Yeah, but they already conceded that she wrote it. They said that they don't contest that was her handwriting. That's what they said when it was their chance to cross the last one. But
is that the same as saying we say it is? I know it's a fine distinction. Is that the same as saying? I think it. Yes, when I asked the question,
most
it sounds
of the
stupid.
world to a reasonable person, yes. To Charlie Adelson, maybe not.
They do. They parse some of these lines very finely, and
I agree.
And I'm wondering if they've done that in this situation, maybe tactically.
I thought that she could even get up there and say, well, I wrote that so I didn't forget all the details. I wrote it for myself. I didn't give it to anyone.
Yeah. Interesting. Well,
that was just me.
We're going to find out here in just a couple moments, so we'll see what.
I agree.
See how this
that
goes
was it.
down. Legal Blonde, thanks. Okay. Always good talking to you.
Thanks.
We'll see you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. They did say they never contested, but never contesting is not the same as admitting that it's her hand. It's almost like saying that, hey, the objection the state is making isn't timely because we haven't made our assertion yet. Once we assert that, then the objection from the state would be appropriate. Yeah, by a show of hands, we're going to do a quick poll. Now that we've talked about what a good friend does and just how good friends should be, and we've heard two of them. It's just a simple yes/no poll. It would help if I spell everything correctly. There we go. The poll's up. The question is this. Would you dig a hole as a favor for a friend? Yes or no? We're just going to leave it at, I'm not going to explain the question anymore because I want plausible deniability, right? I don't want to have to turn this list of responders over to the FBI when we're done. But I'm just curious. Would you dig a hole? Can she take a plea at this point? Melissa, it depends on a couple things. I think legally, yes, she could, unless the judge has said, I'm not going to accept a plea past this date. But it depends on the prosecution offering the deal. If they don't offer a deal, you can want one all you want and not get one. So I don't think anything's on the table currently. I don't know, unless she rolls over on Harvey and Wendy. Maybe she could. If she agrees to full, just tell all. I don't think that's in her. Jackie, member for 8 months, says, my son just asked what I was listening to, and I said a trial, and he said, when is the next time you'll get called for court? Soon, hopefully. Pretty good at digging a hole myself. Don't need friends' help. I voted yes, but only for a very good friend. It's a short list, right? Word on the court street is they offered her a deal to testify against Wendy. She would have to take this soon then. Do you think, hang on, is this a possibility? Once the sentence comes in, once the verdict comes in, prosecution can't say, never mind, we're going to drop charges after you've been convicted, right? I don't think it works like that. I think you'd have to go through like a governor, pardons and things like that. She would have to take a deal before a verdict, before the case is over. You can't just, I'm going to chance it with the jury. They might see it my way and I get away. And if I don't get away, then I'll take a deal. Okay, we're coming back. Let's see what happens. So far, about 30% of you are willing to grab a shovel and do the deed for a friend.
Everyone can be seated. Ms. Boyd, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly for the jurors. You may examine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ooh, is that Red Dragon?
Morning.
Yes,
Can you
we've
please
got
introduce
the
yourself to the
changing.
jury?
My name is Kelsey Guay, and I'm a senior digital forensic examiner.
And where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed by Roll-Off Digital Forensics, which is a small private company based out of Spokane, Washington.
And tell us a little bit about your background and training in the area of digital forensics.
Sure. So starting at the beginning, I graduated from Portland State University with my Master's of Criminal Justice in 2016. During that time when I was in grad school, I worked for the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office in their Family Justice Center, which is a domestic violence clinic. After graduating grad school, I became employed with the Portland Police Bureau, which is in Portland, Oregon. I was employed as an investigative crime analyst. So for about about 3 years, I supported the entire detective division, and I worked on anything from call detail records, mapping cell site location, developing frequency analysis, looking at pattern of life. I would also help them review search warrant returns, so things like when they get data back from Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and I would do some open source, just looking at people's profiles online to help an active investigation. After that, I was the ICAC analyst, and ICAC stands for Internet Crimes Against Children. So during that time, I performed phone extractions. I went on scene to search warrants where there was an internet crimes against person suspect. I would do RAM captures and router examinations. I would also review every single cyber tip and any search warrant returns that came back for those cyber tips. After that, I was the digital forensics lab manager. They civilianized the unit. I was a civilian employee my entire time with the police bureau. And so for about the last a little under 2 years, I managed the digital forensics lab, where I would perform extractions, and I led a team of 5 examiners in doing digital forensic extractions and analysis.
Can you tell us approximately how many hours of training have you had specific to the review and analysis and interpretation of call detail records and cell site location information?
I have a general 400 hours of training just related to all kinds of things, digital forensics, CSLI, cybersecurity. If I had to guess, I would say maybe 100 hours dedicated to cell site location information.
And with respect to call detail records and cell site location information, how many sets over the course of your career of call detail records have you reviewed for casework?
Like actual files, I don't have an exact number. I would say, close to 1,000, if not over. Some of the cases I work on can have, 10 and more phone numbers. So each case can get quite expansive pretty fast. So I would say, maybe roughly 1,000 different sets of records.
And with respect to mapping of call detail records, can you tell the jury approximately how many times you've had to map cell site location information from call detail records?
Sure. I would say maybe about half. When I was working in law enforcement, they don't always get location information for a call detail record. Sometimes they just get records without mappable location information, and they want like a frequency analysis, looking at patterns before event of interest. So I would say I've probably half of the records I've reviewed.
Have you previously offered testimony in court concerning this subject matter?
I have.
Okay. And have you previously been qualified as an expert in digital forensics, specific as to cell site location and call detail records?
In Oregon, it's a little bit different, but in at least one, they did provide me as an expert. Most of it was my employment at the police bureau.
So this is their second time as an expert?
Tender the witness.
State wished to voir dire the witness as to her training or experience.
Yes, sir.
Is there any objection to her ability to provide an opinion in the field of digital forensics?
Yes, sir.
Members of the jury, while this witness testifies,
So now she has two
permitted
under her
to
belt.
provide you with an opinion in the field of digital forensics. You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Gweik, in this case, did you review call detail records that were provided or obtained by law enforcement?
I did.
Okay, and specific, can you tell the jury what records you reviewed?
So when I started working on this case, I was given a lot of different data, just so that I could see everything that had been obtained by law enforcement. However, my focus was on Donna's cell phone records, so that's where I kept most of my focus, was on her records. However, I reviewed all of the data, so essentially there's a lot of AT&T records encompassing various time periods, some of them duplicate of the same time period. There were also Sprint records. I think there was also some Verizon and T-Mobile records, so there was a lot.
Okay. Now, we did not provide you with the tower dumps. We just provided you specific with the records of the individuals that were obtained by law enforcement, correct?
Correct, from like a company like AT&T, T-Mobile, related to a specific phone number.
Did you also review any testimony that has been provided in the past by Sergeant Corbett? Yes. Specifically, what sets of testimony did you review?
There was, I guess from this trial, 2 PDFs that I was given discussing testimony from this trial. I think there was also potentially other testimony from previous events that I skimmed because it wasn't necessarily relevant to what I was asked to look at.
Were you provided the information, were you provided call detail records that included cell site location for Harvey Adelson?
I was.
And specifically for Donna Adelson?
I was.
And Charlie Adelson?
I was.
Were you also provided with a PDF of a PowerPoint that was prepared by Sergeant Corbett?
I was.
Okay. What were you asked to review related to this PowerPoint?
So to just look through all of it, there was about 350 slides, so I, kind of went through it slide by slide, but my specific focus was on slides 26 and 28, which were charts of a frequency analysis.
Would it be helpful to the jury to see specifically what you reviewed and the work that you performed?
I believe you guys have probably seen this already, but yeah, it might be helpful to have a visual.
Can you pull that up, please?
How does she know what they've already seen? I think she should disable the RGB, as cool as it is, on the laptop. Free advertising for MSI.
Do you want me to do the present?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And if you go back a couple slides, please.
To the beginning?
I'm sorry?
To the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
So, what are we looking at here?
So this is a screenshot of the folder that contained the document that I focused my analysis on, because this document was related to Donna's cell phone number, her records. In this document, after reviewing all of the different ones, I realized that this document contained the most data. It started, I believe the record started January 1 of 2014, and they went through May of 2017. So it contained both time sets that were seen on slides 26. Additionally, this data contained seconds in the timestamp. And so me as an analyst, when I'm looking at CDR documents, I always prefer to get the document that has the most information, and in this case, to have a timestamp that includes seconds.
Why is that important?
It's important for different reasons depending on the case. If you are very interested in building like a chronological timeline, having seconds, right? Because we have 60 seconds in 1 minute. So if your call detail records only show you the minute and not the second, things could be coming in showing the same minute, but you don't actually know which happened first without the second timestamp. So different reasons why it can be important.
I hope she put on sunscreen because she's going to be charred
in that
at the end of
same
this.
note, I think your next slide shows what you obtain what you see when you open up this file.
Correct.
Can you show that to the jury, please?
I can.
Okay, but you'll need to put on your blinders.
So you might have also seen something similar to this earlier in this trial, but this is what that document looks like when you open it up. This is just the first 3 rows because this document, like I said, goes through 2017. There are a lot of rows in this document. So it's just a glimpse of what it looks like when you open it up in a text document, which is the native format. This is not very easy to work with as an analyst. You could take this and you could put it into an analytical program and run some calculations on it. However, when I looked at this in a little bit more detail, and there are slides, I realized this data was kind of messy. And by messy, I mean I wouldn't necessarily just trust putting it into a program and trusting the numbers that came out. So I took this document and put it into Excel.
So the programs that you're describing that this data could be put into, are those referred to as tools?
Yes.
Okay. And so since this was messy, how did you import this into Excel?
So when you open up Excel, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Excel. I live in Excel, so I'm very familiar with it. But one of the options when you open Excel is there's a data option and you can import data. There's a little tool that helps you bring in text files into Excel. And this one is a great one to bring in Excel because it might be hard to see, but there are commas between each of these values. So this is what's known as a comma separated
Value.
type file. So it
CSV.
translates very nicely into Excel.
And can you show the jury how that looks when you put it into Excel, please?
I can. So this is that exact same first 3 rows, and this is what it looks like in Excel.
How does the software, does Excel know how to separate that those 3 lines into making this correctly?
So essentially there's like a little walkthrough tool when you import data into Excel from a text file, and it will show you a preview. Is this what your data should look like? And you can say, yep, it's using a comma, it's displaying correctly.
Is there anything that you have to do with the times to adjust them for Eastern time?
Yes, so this specific file, it's again probably very small, but in column 2 or B, the header says connect date or con date time UTC. So this is very common for call detail records to come in UTC, and if they explicitly say UTC, you know it's UTC. So for these records, the times of interest were in the summer, so I knew that this would be in Eastern time. So I was able to add a column in Excel. Again, very easy to do this in Excel. Add a column, write a quick formula, do that time conversion so that I could make sure that, because if you have a call that's in UTC, it might be showing on a different day, but if it kind of happens within that, plus or minus 4 window of when days change, I wanted to make sure I was looking at the right dates for Eastern time.
Okay. And then and you did this for what data?
I did this for Donna's records, the file that we had identified on that very first slide.
Okay. And then did you also do a similar analysis for Charlie's call records?
I looked at his phone records. I did not go quite in depth as what I did with Donna's, but I did look at his in Excel as well.
And I believe the next slide is that frequency chart?
No, the next slide is essentially an example of kind of the messiness that I was referring to earlier.
You could show the jury that, please.
Yes, of course. Would you like me to explain?
Yes, please. What are we looking at now?
Okay. So this is that exact same document. Now, instead of just looking at the first 3 rows, we're looking at rows 1 through 9. And this is at the very top of the document. So as I open up any kind of call detail records, I want to get an idea of what the data contains. So in this example, that red box is just showing 3 unique rows of data. But when I look at these 3 unique rows, I see a couple things that indicate to me that these 3 unique rows might all be referring to the same one call event. And by call event, I mean like an incoming or outgoing call. So if a program takes this, it might see this as potentially 3 different call events. Whereas me as a human, I can realize, oh, there's indicators that tell me that this is one call event.
Is there any way you can zoom in on that a little bit?
Not in the presentation mode.
Okay, if you could back out of the presentation mode and zoom in so that the jury can see what you're talking about, please.
Just kill the lights.
I will do my best.
Eyes darting
I don't
across
know
the
if
screen.
this is getting any better or worse.
We'll find out. Summon the power of the dragon.
Okay, so the top line that we're looking at there on line 6, what does the data from that line of call detail records tell you?
So essentially when I look at row 6, I see the connect date time, which is when the call was initiated, whether it's an incoming or outgoing call. I see a few things. I see the seizure time, which is the time it takes for the network to set up the call, the elapsed time, which is ET. That's how long the phones would have quote unquote connected. I see the originating and terminating number. So, oops, a little too far. There we go. Originating number, so the call that it was started on, terminating the call, the phone number that the call was ending on. And then because this is a screenshot of Donna's phone records ending in 0997, we also see the IMEI and IMSI. Those are just the it's like a VIN number for a phone, is an IMEI, International Mobile Equipment Identifier, and then the IMSI is the International Mobile Subscriber Identity. And that's how the network can tell that you are allowed to be on their network, right, and make calls on the AT&T network. We also see the call type, CT, mobile terminating is what that MT stands for. So again, it reinforces the fact that we see Donna's phone number in the terminating column, and then it's reinforced by that MT. In the feature, this is unique to AT&T records. So this is some random, they look like maybe what might be random letters, but they all have meanings. And there's a record key that if you're not super familiar with what those letters means, you can go and look at that record key. But essentially what this is saying in human speak is that the number calling, there was number identity present, that's that NIOP. There's the CFNA, which is call forwarding, it wasn't available, that it couldn't reach the other party. And then you see that VM, which just means voicemail was involved in this transaction.
We haven't got to the meat of her testimony yet, still waiting for
So the next line, so the features, what does that tell us about this call?
It tells me that there was an incoming call to Donna's phone, and it was sent to voicemail.
Okay, and what does the subsequent two lines indicate?
So the next two lines are related to this initial call event. So I can see that this next one has voicemail. I also can see that this is the forwarding number, which is to forward it to the voicemail box. And then if I go all the way back, the SO and the ST are service originating and service terminating. So these are not human generated, these are network generated logs. So that's what the SO and ST stand for. And then if I go back and I look at the times, the thing I notice is that for those following two service calls, the timestamps are the same. And all of this, so while the connection time is that what would be 2:52 p.m., that's when the call would have come into her phone and gone to voicemail. Then those second two with the identical timestamps are essentially just multiple legs of that activity. So as a human, I can see that these three lines are all related to one event, an incoming call that was routed to voicemail.
It's a lot of testimony to say Donna missed a
If you
call.
can go back to the presentation mode, please.
Of course.
And then
Shield your
let's look at the
eyes.
next
Avert
slide.
your eyes, people. It's coming. Whoa! So bright. So bright.
What do we see on this slide?
So this is slide 26 that I referenced at the beginning of my testimony. So this was one of the things that they had asked me to specifically review.
Okay. And the number that's highlighted, whose number is that?
I believe that is Donna's phone number.
And according to the state's slide 26, how many times, well, what's the time period of these records, of this chart?
So each phone number has a slightly different time period, but for this particular phone number, the date range was May 2nd, 2014 through July 20th, 2014.
And according to the tool that was used by Sergeant Corbett, how many times did Charlie Adelson's device attempt to communicate with Donna Adelson's device?
So it's my understanding that this would contain both directions. Charlie calling Donna, Donna calling Charlie, and both connected and attempted, right? So if it's a voicemail, or if it actually, there was an elapsed time of, let's just say a minute, right? So this would theoretically contain all of that activity. So based on this chart, it appears that this tool said that there were 417 unique communication events.
Did you take any steps to verify the accuracy of this number?
Yes. So because this slide particularly was focused or created using Charlie's phone records, I went through all of those files that we had described earlier and tried to see if I could find any one particular file for Charlie's phone records that contained this entire time span, May 2014 through, or May 2nd, 2014 through July 20, 2014. again, going back, there were a lot of different records for this case. I couldn't find one specific file that encompassed this entire time frame. I did find 3 different files for his cell phone number. So essentially I had to take 3 different files to try to recreate this. And when I was doing that, I noticed that at least between 2 of the files, there were a few dates that overlapped, right? So when law enforcement gets a call detail record return, they'll ask for specific dates. So for example, you might ask for May 1 through June 20, and that would be one return. And then on another date, you do another warrant or a subpoena, and you ask for June 18th through July 18th, right? A month's worth of data. So when I found these 3 files, I noticed that there were at least 2 files that had some dates overlapping.
Did you remove the overlap when you conducted this manual examination?
I did, and the other thing I noticed was that out of the 3 files, 2 of them were in local time, so Eastern time, and then one of them is in UTC. So again, I had to, try to see if I could make this a continuous May 2nd through July 20th, taking out any overlapping dates and making sure, again, that the dates were all correct by seeing everything in Eastern time.
What did you do did you try to recreate this chart that Sergeant Corbett prepared?
I did try to recreate it by how I just explained.
And were you able to?
I wasn't able to come up with 417.
Can you explain to the jury what you did beyond what you've already described and what number you got to?
So I did 2 different steps. I did the one that I just explained where I converted everything to Eastern time, ensured that there were no dates overlapping, and so that it was essentially just showing me, May 1 through July 20. And I think when I did that and I took out these extra overlapping dates, and then I filtered to just only look at the incoming and outgoing calls. I did not deduplicate at all. That what I just explained, right, where I said that three for potentially one event. Did not deduplicate. I just put a filter for Charlie and Donna's cell phone numbers. And at that point for these dates, I think I got maybe 383 unique call events. And that was, again, taking out the overlapping dates. The second step I did was I thought, well, maybe the tool didn't do that, and it just took everything and it didn't deduplicate the dates. So I tried it again, and I got 393 when I did not take out any extra dates. So, and these were just calls.
The witness's laptop looks like it's a 16 or 18-inch MSI gaming laptop.
Did you do anything to determine whether or not these events went to voicemail?
I did not.
Okay. Did you take this a step further to determine whether or not there were actual communications versus actual or attempted?
Sorry, could you?
Sorry, it was a poorly worded question. So the 393 that you identified is both connected and attempted.
Correct.
Is there a way to determine whether or not something is attempted versus connected, aside from the voicemail flags that we talked about a few moments ago?
So the voicemail flags are going to be the best indicator of if somebody didn't connect, because AT&T is telling you that the phone call went to voicemail. So as an analyst, that's, to me, the best indicator. Another indicator that you can use, I think different people have different thoughts on this, but if it's a very short duration, like let's say under 10 seconds, could the phones have connected and there's just actually no communication, or it may be you answer but you don't hear anything, so you hang up. So different analysts will use different amount of elapsed time to determine, I think some people will say, I think everything over 30 seconds indicates there was, actual communication. So people have different thoughts on it, but I like to see, if it's 2 seconds to 0 seconds, there probably wasn't any actual communication.
Now, when reviewing specific to this, to Charlie's records, did you then go back and dedupe everything to determine the actual and attempted calls?
I did not for Charlie's records.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Donna's phone records. If we could advance to that, please.
Takes very little
So
power,
this
but
is
it can
slide
be disabled
28.
in the settings.
Okay, and according to this, what was the time period of this chart?
So this chart is focused on, would have been created using Donna's call detail records, and the contact at the top that's highlighted is Charlie's cell phone number, and the date range that was used to generate these records was June 23rd, 2014 through July 22nd, 2014. Again, I did the same process like I did with Charlie's. I went to go look through all the data to see if I could find a file that would cover this date range and only this date range, and I was able to find a file that covered this date range.
And when you went through the process that you've already explained, manually going through the records, were you able to determine how many unique call events took place during this time between Donna and Charlie?
Unique. So for this one, I
This is the
took the
important
original file that I mentioned, and I just looked at the filters between Charlie and Donna's phone number, and I was able to recreate the 80 when I just look at the totality of the data. Taking a step back, all the way back to that slide 1, I mentioned that record for Donna contains data from 2014 through 2017. So that particular document covered both of the time frames. It covered this one, which is June 23 through July 22, 2014, and it covered what was in Charlie's records, which was May 2nd through July 20th. So I used that document that I showed you guys at the very beginning to dedupe. So I went through that document. I put the filters for Charlie and Donna's phone numbers, and then I went through each line during those time frames to determine, like, is this a voicemail activity? Is this just AT&T duplication? Is this an actual unique call event? So that was the document that I used, focusing on these two parties' phone numbers. And I went through each line by line, and removed manually any rows that I believed to be referencing the same call event. So when I did that, I got, for this time frame, deduplicated, and this would be attempted and connected, right? So it's including the voicemail. It's just noting that there's only one line for that voicemail, not potentially 3. I got 69 unique call events that would be connected and attempted.
So defense says there are fewer calls than the state says between
The
Charlie
failure
and
to
Donna.
manually go through these records resulted in an overinflated report in these frequency reports.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to this data, and I don't think we have any more slides.
No, we do not.
Okay, so get the lights, please.
Would you like me to unplug it?
Yes.
Okay.
Dim the lights. Thank you. She closed the laptop and the whole courtroom gets darker.
In addition to this part of the data, did you also review cell site location information for Donna Adelson's phone, specifically on July 18th of 2014?
I did.
Okay. And did you identify the cell phone towers that likely provided coverage to Charlie Adelson's home on July 18th of 2014? The towers that he could have been connected to from his residence.
So I was not provided with like an AT&T master cell site list, but I mapped the records for July 18th that are available in the AT&T document.
Who has access to the master records?
Law enforcement.
So presumably law enforcement would have gotten those records and taken a look at what cell site, what towers and sectors would correspond to Charlie Adelson's residence.
Correct.
Okay. And in your review of the records, the call detail records that were provided to you, obtained by law enforcement, did Donna Adelson's handset ever connect to a tower that could provide coverage to Charlie Adelson's home on July 18th of 2014?
No.
with those same records, was there any instance
That's
on
important.
July 18th of 2014 where Charlie Adelson's handset and Donna Adelson's handset were connecting to the same tower?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
They're saying that Donna's phone never connected to a tower that could have served Charlie's house, meaning that she wasn't there
Do you disagree
10 minutes away.
with any of the mapping of the cell site locations from Sergeant Corbett's presentation?
No.
No. We saw on the section of his report where it shows a travel analysis of Donna Adelson the night of Dan Markel's murder. Do you remember that?
The ones where there's like projected travel paths.
Correct.
I do remember that.
Okay. And you don't disagree with the fact that her phone was communicating with the cell site in North Miami at 8:35 p.m. and you don't disagree with that site or sector that he mapped there, right?
Correct.
And you don't disagree with, on the following slide, that the next time she has location in her cell records is at 10:57, and you don't disagree with that cell site or sector that he mapped, right?
So I think the 1053.
I'm sorry, 1053. Thank you.
Was actually Harvey's cell phone.
Okay.
But if they're presumably in the same vehicle, the tower and sector is correct.
Okay. So for the location south of Charlie's residence and the location north of Charlie's residence that we have location for, you do not disagree with that?
No.
Okay. And the iMessage where she says outside your house, would you expect to have location for iMessages?
If it's from an iCloud return, no, I would not expect there to be location information from iCloud.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. It's not that we do have location for outside your house and it's not consistent with Charlie's house. It's just that we don't have location at all for outside your house.
Correct, there is no location.
But Donna Adelson
Okay,
says her
nothing
location in that message, right?
There's the text message from the iCloud, correct?
Where she says outside your house.
Correct, that's the contents.
Okay.
And with that, Georgia just wasted all the defense money they spent on this expert because her testimony became irrelevant.
When you looked at Donna Adelson's records, was there a phone call between Donna Adelson and Annie Cunningham on the evening or night of July 18th, 2014?
I'm not familiar with that name.
You're not familiar with the name Annie Cunningham?
No.
Okay. What if I gave you her number? Would you be able to look and see?
I don't have the call details memorized, so.
Do you have them with you?
The original documents, I do.
Laptop, okay.
Yeah.
Would you be able to look and see?
I'm going to object this if you want the scope of direct.
Please approach.
Judge, please find a reason to allow this because I want to hear Georgia get spicy with this witness. This witness is smart. She's good. But I think her testimony veered into the supporting the conclusion area, at least the way she offered it, saying we have nothing that shows that, that she never connected in an area that would support. And yeah, it's like picking a statistic that makes you look good when really you're the bottom in performance. She testified in that way, and the questions were asked that way. I mean, credit to the defense and the questioning. But the result of her testimony led me to believe something that is complete opposite to what the facts show. And defense did a good job getting that out, but Georgia destroyed it in just a couple questions. She's smart. She's good at what she does. She likes it. I think she's testified many times, but this is her second time as a expert witness, not on staff with law enforcement, as a civilian. Cross can be broad as they want. It has to be relevant, not within the scope. I don't know what the judge is going to rule here. Obviously, the objection outside its scope has to have some limits, right? Georgia is a boss. She's amazing. This lawyer is Sarah Dugan. Not Georgia.
Objection is overruled. This way, if you need the question repeated for you, Ms. Dugan will do so.
Ms. Dugan? I confuse the two, but they're both stellar lawyers.
mind pulling up your call detail records for Donna Adelson?
Of course.
And shield your eyes. Georgia and Sarah have such similar, well, they have some physical similarities, obviously. They have similar styles as well. Holy cow, the screen got
Let me know when
brighter.
you're ready, and I'll give you the number.
How was that possible?
It's a fairly large file, so it'll take a minute to load.
Whatever
If
that-
it needs time to load, I can ask some other questions and come back to this if you'd.
Your Honor, I was just asking if we're going to provide the phone number that we not do it so that it can be published to the media. If we can.
That's fine. Mr. Dugan, please handle your questioning on this matter discreetly so her phone number is not published to anyone watching.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Just don't display it.
I'm just going to filter to that date.
You can approach the witness to show her anything that she may need to read concerning this matter.
Yes, sir.
Wear your tanning cream if you want to move up there.
I'm just trying to get to
That's good. Stand at an angle to limit exposure to the rays.
So am I showing you a contact with Annie Cunningham?
Correct.
Okay, and you don't need to say the number out loud, but is there a number next to it that begins with 845?
Correct.
Okay. 845 being the area code?
Yes.
Okay. That's the number we're looking for.
Okay.
And my question was there a phone call between Donna Adelson and Annie Cunningham the evening PM on the 18th of July, evening or night?
Wow, she's getting
And
close to this.
to reiterate, it started with 845, correct?
Show you.
Please show it to her again.
Okay, so we're using a phone number for Annie Cunningham to see if there was a call from Donna
Yeah.
that night. She's shaking her head.
I see the number, and I looked at the records for the evening of the 18th, and I do not see a call to that number.
Okay. And that would be like in the afternoon, evening, or night that night? Of July 18th of 2014?
So starting
Search for the whole day.
from noon to noon on the 18th through midnight on the 18th, I don't see a call to that.
Have you
phone
adjusted
number.
the time frame for
Okay,
the
thank
time
you.
zone?
All right, so we saw your presentation where one slide was kind of showing us what the raw records looked like, right?
Correct.
And the next slide was showing us an example of how a duplicate event looks. It can look like 3 entries, but it's actually one event, right?
Correct.
And then we saw the Sergeant Corbett's frequency reports for Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson, right?
Correct.
Okay. What is the purpose of a frequency report?
There's a lot of different purposes. So when I worked in law enforcement, I would do them for lots of different things. One of the things that you can do is just see who's the #1 caller for a particular person. Sometimes that's a significant other or family member. So that's one reason you can do a frequency analysis. Another is just to do more of a pattern of life and look at activity over matter of days, months, years.
Is another reason like to show a relationship between two parties, whether there is one at all, and if there is one, how often they talk?
Yeah, that's definitely a reason.
In comparison to the other people they talk to?
Correct.
Do the frequency reports in Sergeant Corbett's presentation that we saw in your presentation, do those accurately reflect the call detail records?
They represent the raw data accurately, correct?
Right. They represent the raw data of the records accurately.
Correct.
And do they accurately reflect that Charlie Adelson is Donna Adelson's most frequent contact?
For that particular time span of June 23 through July, I think it's 22?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Okay. It's just that in Corbett's frequency reports, those are the raw records without duplicates taken out, right?
Correct.
When you reviewed his, and well, let me show you this. I'm going to show you from 73A, slide 20.
Okay, I'm about to open these peanuts and start eating
Are
them.
you familiar with this slide of the presentation?
I might have seen it at some point.
Okay.
Yes.
Would this be a representation in Sergeant Corbett's presentation of 3 entries that are actually one event, like a duplicate event?
Potentially. I mean, I would like to see the feature flags or the call flags, but yes, based on the timestamps, the minutes, there's no seconds in this, but it does appear that this looks like a phone number is calling a phone number. It's being routed to what I know to be like an AT&T voicemail routing number, and then I see the first 2 numbers replicated. Again, I don't see the call type or the feature flags, but it does appear to be a 3-in-1 incident.
Okay. And when you reviewed Sergeant Corbett's testimony from this trial,
Peanut butter.
did you review a portion where he explained that call we just saw, what a duplicate is, and that his frequency reports did contain duplicates?
Yes, there was some testimony that I reviewed that he did say that there was like voicemail routing events that could show us more than one line.
Okay. When we see throughout that presentation, when we see the call detail records for a particular day, let's just say the day of the murder in this case, July 18th, 2014, those summaries, the duplicates have been taken out, right?
Are you talking about like the slides that have just like the different rows?
Yes, for significant events in the
Correct.
case. Okay.
Yes.
And if you were to go through that frequency report and you only took out the duplicates for Donna's records for Charlie and Donna communicating, right?
Correct.
If you were to go through that frequency report though and take out all the duplicates across the board, it would reduce the total amount of communications for each contact, right?
Correct.
Okay. But it wouldn't change the frequency ranking of each contact.
I'm not entirely sure about that because, as I mentioned, the first one, when I was trying to recreate Charlie's, there were 3 different documents, and at least 2 of the documents had like dates that overlap. So I'm not sure if because you would have to also take out like the extra for those dates, so that might change the numbers slightly.
If it did, it would be slight though.
Yeah.
Okay. And your testimony was that for Donna Adelson's frequency analysis, just with Charlie Adelson, instead of 80 events, she actually had 69 when you take out the duplicates.
Connected and attempted.
Connected and attempted, okay. What do you think that shows that's helpful to the defense in this case?
I think it just goes to, when I look at records, I like to be precise with my numbers.
Okay. And when Sergeant Corbett testified, he did let the jury know that this contains duplicates though, right? For the frequency report?
I think he said that it does include voicemail forwarding events.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is he didn't say anything that was unreliable or inaccurate with that.
I think that being able to see exactly how many can be important.
Because it's 69 and not 80 when duplicates are taken out, does that mean that Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson don't have a relationship?
No.
And you still agreed that Charlie Adelson is still Donna Adelson's most frequent contact, right?
For that time period.
When we looked at Donna Adelson's frequency report, in your presentation and in Corbett's presentation, this one, right? Number 2 on that list is not an actual person, right?
I'd have to pull it up I don't have it memorized.
Okay. You want to pull yours up?
Sure.
Okay.
That's so bright. Still can't get over that. I think I'm going to zoom in on her irises.
Is the second ranking on that list her voicemail, AT&T voicemail routing number?
Correct.
Okay. So, and then third place on that list of most frequent contacts is Harvey Adelson, her husband, with the 9032 number?
Correct.
Okay. So, Charlie Adelson would still be first, followed by the number of calls routed to voicemail.
Correct.
Where did you fly her from?
Portland, Oregon.
Okay. And how long did that take?
6-ish hours.
And was that paid for by you or paid for by the defense?
Paid for by the defense.
And how much are you charging for your work in this case?
The roll-off charge is $300 an hour.
And does that include the work that you did that we saw here in court prior to coming to court today?
Correct.
Okay, and does that include your travel?
Correct.
As far as $300 an hour during the time that you're spent traveling?
Correct. It's the company's policy.
Okay, and waiting to testify and testifying, is it that same amount?
Correct.
Do you know the total amount the defense has paid for your testimony here today?
I don't. The company does, but
do you know about the amount of hours that you spent on this case, including travel?
The amount of hours on the total case? No. On travel, they just do a flat rate of 10 hours if I work over 10 hours. So for yesterday, so the trip for the trial would have been about 30 hours, so about $10,000.
Okay. Thank you.
Redirect examination.
Wasted money.
Thank you. Ms. Bly, did you prepare a written report that you provided to my office concerning the manual review of Charlie Adelson's phones? Or phone with the frequency analysis for his contact with Donna Adelson?
Using Donna's records?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And using those records, you indicated that it reflected about 393. Would it be helpful to see your report for what your numbers were for unique call events from May 2nd to July 20th?
For using Donna's records to deduplicate between that time period, I think it was 211 deduplicated.
So 211 rather than 417?
From the May 2nd through July 20th.
Now, you indicated on cross that you did not locate a call between Annie Cunningham and Donna Adelson on July 18th of 2014, correct?
I did not see one.
Okay. Now, the records that are collected by call detour records, those are for communication events that are through the carrier.
Correct.
And so any communication event that took place through a third-party app would not be collected there.
Correct.
So, for example, are you familiar with the apps WhatsApp and Viper?
Yes.
Okay. How did those show up on call detail records?
So any applications, anything third party, really even FaceTime audio or FaceTime video is technically not, through the AT&T network. All of that activity would be a data transaction. So when you look at AT&T records for a data transaction, it's not going to show you individual items, for example, that you got an email and that was so many bytes sent on the network. It's just going to show you a time that the data session was open and how many bytes were received and how many bytes were sent from the handset to and from the network. So AT&T does show data transactions, but it's not going to show like a FaceTime audio or, an email.
So in other words, when you are using FaceTime audio or FaceTime or one of these apps, it's not going to, the number that you dial is not going to show up on the call detail records.
Correct.
It's going to show up on the data session that AT&T records report.
It would be lumped into the data session. You aren't going to see what was being used for the data session.
And these data sessions, do they typically have like a certain time period that they last?
There, a lot of times on an AT&T record, you'll see a data session that can run up to about 60 minutes. You can have ones that run less than that, but AT&T data is kind of all over the board.
Now, with these data sessions, the way that our phones work, if you have your phone constantly having alerts pushed or emails pushed to your phone, those are going to show up how?
Again, if it's like, let's say you have your email and you have it set to like give me a notification every time I get an email, that means that your phone has to be communicating with Google servers, Gmail servers, right? So that it knows when you get an email. So that's going to be lumped into these data sessions.
In the call detail records that you reviewed for Donna Adelson, specific as to July 18th of 2014, did those records reflect that Mrs. Adelson's phone was engaged in data sessions?
On the 18th, it was.
Was it consistent throughout the evening and night of July 18th, 2014, that Mrs. Adelson's device was engaged in data sessions?
There were data sessions throughout the day, including the evening.
So the entire time that she was driving with her husband on July 18th of 2014, her phone was connected to some tower engaged in a data session.
So the records don't give you like minute by minute, second by second. So when I look at data transmissions, data records, I look at the time when that data transmission was initiated, because in order for a data transmission to be initiated, the phone would have to be on and connected to the network, right? Your phone, if it's in airplane mode or off, it's not going to be able to reach the network. So the time when that data begins, the phone would have had to be on. When I see these things like 60 minutes, do I know with 100% certainty based on these records that the phone was on for the entire 60 minutes? I can't say that, but I do know at least at the beginning that phone was on and connected to the network. And I did see data transmissions throughout the day and the evening where the connected time was, kind of throughout the day.
And so those data sessions, would those be consistent with Donna Adelson having a phone call with Annie Cunningham on either WhatsApp or Viper the night of July 18th of 2014?
It could be. I can't say if it was or wasn't.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
So now the defense is trying to say, but she could have made the call. Anne could have made the call over WhatsApp.
You may step down.
State to ask one more question.
What's that?
Would you permit the state to ask one more question?
Ooh.
This witness is only here for today under the defense subpoena.
Yes, Your Honor. She flies out this evening.
Do not permit recross. Please approach.
Yes,
The state now saying, can we get one more bite of the apple? Judge says I normally don't. The witness is only here on defense subpoena for one day. She flies out this evening. Sarah's saying, can I get one more question in? $10,000 is about the going rate for most experts. There are some experts that are specialists that require a ton of work, and they can be 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times that. But most experts seem to shape their billing around that $10,000 mark. Let's see, $10K is just for travel. Fun fact, turns out the people in the gallery who are wearing sunglasses are the only ones who really planned ahead for today's testimony. Everyone else now wishing they had brought some every time she opens up that laptop. $10,000 is travel only. $10,000 to fly.
Based on the witness's limited availability, I will permit the recross on the one question. Ms. Dugan, you may ask.
Yes, sir. Defense asked, well, Could there be a call to Annie Cunningham on WhatsApp or some app that you're not able to show? Was Donna Adelson the afternoon, evening, night of July 18th, 2014, was she using her phone to make voice calls and answer voice calls to and from people that night? Like, and when I say voice call, I mean like if I picked up my phone and called your phone, an ordinary voice call, was she using her phone in that manner with other people that night?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The defense need to redirect on that one point.
One question, and I'll keep it at one. Ms. Guai, can you pull up the phone records for Ms. Adelson on the night of July 18th of 2014?
Give me a second.
That wasn't the one question, was it?
No, that was preparatory.
All right.
Judge says that was your question. That's so funny.
Do you see, can you tell us how many calls from 8:30 p.m. until 1 a.m. you see in Mrs. Adelson's records?
3.
Nothing further.
That's why you may step down.
Thank you. Can you help with that?
Is there a brief witness the defense can call before the lunch break?
Just a moment, Your Honor. I want to see if Ms. Cunningham is back. Without being able to predict how long the state's cross is going to be of our next two witnesses, I can't say with any degree of certainty how long it will take.
We'll take our lunch break then at this point. Is Ms. Cunningham available?
She's supposed to be returning from the airport, Judge.
Okay. Members of the jury, at this time we will take our lunch break.
Are they
for
recalling
today.
Ms. Cunningham?
Please do not discuss this case with each other or any other person. Do not seek out any additional information about this matter that has not been discussed in court as well. We will resume with our case at 12:45. Enjoy your lunch break.
Was Ann Cunningham the
Please
first
report
witness
at
of the day?
12:45.
I don't remember. Was Ann Cunningham the first person? She's headed to the airport. They want to call her back. Obviously, defense. She got impeached, basically saying, you know, the hearsay thing.
Seated. Please report back by 12:40. We will await the jurors, and we will resume with the testimony and the defense's case in chief.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So let me explain a little bit about what just happened there. We've got Ann Cunningham, first witness of the day, the friend to Donna, testified or tried to testify what Donna said when she called her on the phone. So Dan's been shot. The state objected and said, objection, hearsay. The judge sustained it. They went to sidebar and they said this was a basically excited utterance. It laid the foundation that she basically called in the moment right after she found out and said, hey, this is what's happened. And then, was this the right call? I'm trying to put all this together in my head. Anne at some point testified that a call took place at a certain time. And I think that it was proven on the 18th that call did not take place by the defense's own expert on cross-examination. Now they're calling Anne back to try to say, I think that, is it possible this call happened on WhatsApp or Viber or something like that? So she's not impeached. So, you know, this is a possibility. The state's already come in and said she was calling other people on her regular phone. Why would she have switched to WhatsApp to make the call? But anyway, lunch break. It's a little early. It's 11:35, but we can definitely go to lunch. Do they have a landline? I think they do. They do, but let me see if I can get my my portal set up. It's a little early for this. I was not ready. I wasn't expecting lunch so soon. But recalling the witness from the airport, that's pretty cool. Are we coming back at 12:30, he said? Or 12:45? I think we're coming back at 12:30. Okay. Hang on, I'm missing calls. Lunch, I just finished breakfast. I just started my breakfast. Got this variety pack of flavors and nutrition right here with peanut butter M&Ms. He said 12:45. We'll start at 12:30 then, so we don't miss anything. Hang on. Hello? Hello? It's not connecting. Hello? Nope. All right. I object unless you can share your snacks with the rest of us. I'm showing you. Every time I eat one, I'm eating them on screen. I'm showing you how many I've had. This is as close to sharing as I can get. Love your healthy choice. Went with the peanut butter. There it is. One more time. It's not connecting. I can see it ringing. I think it even from Angela. Angela, you must be calling through Viber. It's not working. This is going to show up as a missed call. Civil says, have I been blocked? Are you trained to call? It's coming in from a 4-6 area code or a country code. Mari, member for 8 months. Congratulations. If Ego Donna ignored but would be here. Would we be here? We only live once. Hey, let me just say, Key and Maine, thank you for this. I went all day yesterday and had none of these during the live stream. Like a 5-hour live stream and had these open in front of me and I ate none of them. So today's my cheat day because I was so good yesterday. How many people still have a landline? I have one, but it's technically a VoIP phone, so it can move with us. It's not like the traditional landline powered by the old Markel or whatever. M&Ms are a health food. I agree, Kurt. You could be on my friends list. Okay, last time, if this doesn't work, here's a call. Answer. Shows we're connected. I'm getting nothing. Pushing 1 to connect. Nothing. It's not working. Is Kurt in Sweden? I don't think this is Kurt. I think it's Angela. Legally Blonde says, they say a well-balanced diet contains eating every color of the rainbow in a day, and you got them all right there. Nailed it. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm just going for the nutrition. All right. Anne was first to testify. She was Donna's friend, and Donna called her upset the night of the murder. The call log does not show that. Okay, this is somebody else. Let's see if it works. Hello? Might be on my end. Let's try speaker. Hello? Hello? Okay, it's my app. I'm gonna close Google Voice and reopen it. Okay, it's reinitialized. Hopefully that fixes it. Make no promises. Did you pay your bill? It's free. Okay, this is Angela.
Call from Angela.
It's on speaker, but it's not connecting
To
this way.
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Angela, I can hear you now.
Hello, everybody. Hello, chat. Yeah, that was an interesting testimony. I mean, she knows her stuff, and I love the way she presented everything. She presented the fact that she got may or may not have been good at the end for the defense, but she presented what she has.
Do you think that she was presenting it
so
as
I like
factual, or if she was trying to advance a theory with her presentation?
as factual, because that's why I love science, that's why I love data. You have data. The way you read it, me and you have the same data. We have the same data. I can read one way, you can read the other way, but we still have the same data. Depends on how we read it. We may not have the same conclusion, depends on which point of view we read the same data from. But at the end, she kind of corrected herself. So she still, at the end, was not the best for the defense.
Corrected herself, meaning she answered the questions by the prosecution to give the full scope and picture. So, yeah, I hear you. I think she's good. I think she's going to do great. I hope I see her in more court cases. Mostly because I want to see how tan she gets over time as she keeps using that laptop on full brightness. But it's like a portable tanning bed.
I have my laptop always on full brightness, but in comparison to her laptop, mine is like nothing.
I am a little bit jealous.
Zero results, nothing.
MSI makes amazing gaming laptops, and that's what hers is. But just advice, I do think that the RGB on screen color changing up there on the witness stand, probably not appropriate. We've seen sometimes, I think we saw it in the Maya trial, we had some RGB stuff going in that one as well, which is better from the gallery or from the, the bench instead of it's better from the lawyer's table than up on the witness stand. But you can go into the settings and you can change the RGB code to straight zeros, which makes it black, even if you can't turn it off.
Yeah, my dad managed to do that on the laptop he had. Thankfully, I found it how to restore it back.
Yeah, but
it was his old laptop, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Now he's not allowed to touch that.
I've never had a gaming laptop like that. So, any other thoughts?
He had yeah. So I don't know if I said this before, but I also love to do in my hobby. As a hobby, I love, besides watching trials and now taking a class where watching trials can actually be helpful. I also like to write fiction, crime fiction, to be precise.
On Reddit? On Reddit or?
Oh, gosh, no. Oh, Jesus Christ, no. I don't have anything published yet. Okay. I did have some fan fictions published, but those are scrubbed from all the internet and my drives, both online drives and actual drives.
As they should be.
Because it's fan fiction, very embarrassing fan fiction. So back to my point. Because I write fan fiction, because I write crime fiction, I need to do a lot of research. And among other things, I do research non-extradition countries and countries where you do not need a visa, especially like me who have double citizenship or people who have more than one citizenship.
And you can go to Vietnam without needing a visa, right?
Yeah, I am able to. Yeah, I am actually able to go to a few other countries which we are not gonna name because we talk about Pickles and not the other thing. But actually, not with my Swedish citizenship, but the other citizenship I have. Actually, I can go there without a problem. So that got me thinking. I'm now looking like all the stuff that I researched, like, oh my God, I hope I'm not on police's radar because Jesus Christ, on a motorcycle, what I have looked up, because police would have probably thought I'm the worst criminal in Sweden. Because I researched worse than Donna stuff.
Yeah, your history is going to get you in trouble. While you're talking, I'm going to put up on the screen. I've zoomed in on the former witness's, Kelsey's, eyes to show you how big her pupils are when her laptop is turned off. So you can see right there, and then we can fast forward to when the laptop is turned on. And let's go forward. By the way, they get tiny.
I have that research for U.S. citizens because one of the books. So if anyone needs where you can travel without visa, I can forward you the link.
Yeah, between that and asking people to dig a hole for a friend, I think we're pretty much getting everybody in trouble if they should get charged with something. Angela, we'll cut your liability to a minimum today. So thank you very much. Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
We'll see
Bye-bye.
you. Bye. All right. I think Kurt was trying to call as well. I like to say we freed up a phone line. It is the only phone line. We just have the one burner phone. The zooming in isn't something I expected. I wanted to see how her eyes react to the brightness of the screen, and they get smaller. It's just so bright. Your eyes are trying to protect your retinas, and it's pretty funny. All right, let's see. I think that's it. Be kind to yourselves. Don't buy that laptop because everyone else says it'll make you blind. Well, once you get a laptop like that, you have to get like blue blockers, right? The glasses that block the harmful rays from your screen. It's just Amber zooms in on RA like that. Amber's like, "Hey, what did I do?" Let's see. I did not hear the poll instructions and misrepresented it. Consequently, I answered incorrectly. Trial obsessed. Would you dig a hole if your friend came to you and said, "I need you to dig a hole. It's got to be like 6 feet deep, and it's got to be maybe 3 feet wide and 6 feet long. No questions, out in the woods. Could you do something for it?" Would you be like, "Let me grab my shovel. Let me grab my shovel." And they're like, "Oh, and don't mention this to anyone." Would you be the one who's like, "Hey, bestie, I'm here for you. No worries. Give me an hour." Or would you be like, "I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that." Thick blue blockers or welding glasses work the same. Let's see. That'd be a rectangle, not a hole. Oh, a hole is the gap in the ground, the space where the dirt used to be. It can be different shapes. No way. Also, you're like, "No, you wouldn't dig the hole." I have questions about everything. Well, I'm excited to see the first witness come back. Clearly, the defense thinks that she was impeached improperly or left a bad look in the jury's minds regarding her, and they've called her back. Said, "Come back from the airport. Cancel that one-way flight to Vietnam. You've got to come back. We've got some more questions." She was released, so they must have served her a subpoena again, or maybe she's coming back willingly. But I'd be the person asking for help with the hole. If they released her, how can they call her back? They can re-subpoena her, or they can just call her and say, "Hey, would you do us a solid and come back to court? We've got another question." All right. With that, it's early lunch. I know it's early. Many of you just barely finished breakfast, but we're going to eat again. Peanut M&Ms, if you've got them, or peanut butter M&Ms, as the case may be. I'm by myself today, so I'm going to just eat peanut butter M&Ms because no one will stop me. But we're going to portal over to our afternoon live stream where Great Uncle Greeners has already won chat by being first in chat. So maybe they'll stop around the concourse, terminal, gateway, whatever the defense called it. The jetway, right? The jetway. Where is everyone? They're all going over to the new stream, Trial Obsessed. We're going to portal over. The court is on an early lunch break. The first witness has been recalled. They're coming back from the airport. We're going to see Anne again. And it could get spicy. It could get interesting. It's very important to the defense that this be cleared up. Let's see if they're able to do it. Will defense have to pay for the new flight? I think they can handle it. I think that's not going to be like a big deal for them. They've got they've got vacant properties in Miami. If you've got vacant properties in Miami, you can probably just eat the difference on missing a flight and getting a new ticket. Portal Buddies, unite. Everyone get together. Tonight, when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone. Make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe till we go live again at 12:30. Part 2, Day 7 of the Donna Adelson trial. The defense is underway in their case in chief. And it's already getting spicy. So hang in here. Come on back, and we'll watch it together this afternoon. Y'all have a good lunch. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye. went to Raleigh for the day. They went to Raleigh. They're playing at a new park. See you after lunch, buddy.